All right. StarrCade, December 26, 1988. This is the sixth StarrCade that has happened. It is the first one that we are reviewing. The slogan for this is True Grit. It is in the Norfolk, Virginia, at the Norfolk Scope. And yeah, it's a little different. We're now in WCW. Instead, well, technically it's still NWA is what they're calling it, and I'll probably reference it as WCW throughout the rest of this podcast. But yeah, it's the first one that Ted Turner took over, and now we're gonna review it.
Yeah, I thought it would be interesting to see the different, presentations of wrestling, and also just, as I mentioned last time, Ted Turner has purchased it now, and he's going to be putting a little bit of money into it. And I was interested to see like who all would pop back up with this change, like who all would jump from WWE to WCW, who would come back to WCW, who would leave WCW, and you've already seen some of the fallout
Yeah,
of uh of some of the NWA WCW power shifts, because apparently things aren't really great for Flair camp right now. You notice Tully and Arn were on the last show, which was a WWF show. Because I went digging for the fun facts this time. I found some facts. They are not that fun. Uh, so I don't know. Do you want me to talk about it now, or or
I
would you
say
rather me
I
like
say you
explain it to you
give.
afterwards?
I say you give. How many do you have? Is there a
I,
lot
I
of them?
mean, I mean, it's just kind of like what the situation is here. It's just the
I think you give a
what
couple
it's like
now.
backstage.
You give a
Okay,
couple now. You
so
give a couple after.
up until now, up until like pretty recently in '88 here, the booker has been Dusty Rhodes for the NWA for years. And once the Turner purchase happened, not too long after that, Dusty was removed from the booker position, and I'm pretty sure it was given to like one of the Turner executives, because their thought process was, well, it's in the shape it's in because it's being run by wrestling or people that are in wrestling and wrestlers. Let's get them the fuck out of that position. But then you end up with like TV people that don't really understand how to run a wrestling show, but you just got to weigh that against it being run by a bunch of wrestlers that don't know how to run a TV show. Um, but Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair by this point are sick of each other, and when Dusty was having the book, I think he was making like, oh, by the way, this is me getting this information off of listening to like one 30-minute interview from Dave Meltzer from around this time, and this is my understanding of it. I could be like off base. I could have taken a little like some information, incorrectly. So don't come at me, people, if I'm wrong. Just comment on shit and correct us, and I'll address it next week. But for now, if I'm wrong, the way I'm perceiving it is probably funnier. So Dusty and Ric Flair are in like a constant power struggle because Flair's like the biggest fucking thing in the world right now, and he's a world champion. And also, if you get rid of Ric Flair, you don't really have like the draw that's gonna pull in a television audience.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um, and that kind of leads to some big issues and changes. And I guess I can stop there for now, and I'll pick back up on it later. But originally, Ric Flair and Lex Luger was not Dusty's planned main event for StarrCade. But once the book was taken from Dusty, here's where we landed, where we are now.
You want to know something crazy, real quick?
Sure.
Ric Flair at this time in
Yeah.
1988, 39 years old.
Okay.
That is so fucking crazy. And he wrestled in what, 2019 was his last match or something crazy like that?
Yeah, something like that, wasn't it? Or was it within the last few years, like 2022 or something,
Yeah, it's probably
21?
2022. He did the indie show, right?
Because I feel like it was post-COVID, right? When he did the thing with AEW.
Yeah, probably, yeah. But damn, that shit's. I mean, it's just so crazy. He is older than both of us right now, and he is like,
Yeah, in this match, he's older than we are right now. Yeah.
yeah, and literally like you just said, like he's top of the world right now, and everyone's there
Oh,
to see him.
dude, it was awesome seeing Ric Flair. It was
Uh-huh.
awesome watching Ric Flair wrestle. And I know I kind of knew going into this that you probably weren't going to enjoy the show as much as I did.
Yeah.
But I do apologize for that, and I hope it doesn't deter you from wanting to watch
No,
further
I
WCW
don't
shows.
want I don't want us to go through a year without watching another StarrCade.
Okay. Well, my original pitch to you was like each year I was gonna maybe pick like the 5
Oh
most
yeah, I
important
guess. Yeah.
WCW shows.
Yeah.
Because there's some nitros that are fucking wild, and there's also just some historically really bad shows that I want you to watch and laugh at with me.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? I mean, that's probably better because I don't want us to waste our time on like
Yeah.
really bad, like really
No, no, no,
heavy.
no, no. I'll limit myself to
Okay.
5 WCW shows per like year, you know. And
Hmm.
there's only 5 of them in '89, so we're good there. But I'll feed you the correct WCW amount. Trust me. I won't sour you on it. I won't shove it down your throat. I'll give you good little helpings here and there.
Yeah. No,
I'll make it
that's good.
healthy.
And I trust you. I mean, you're the number one wrestling expert guy in my eyes. So,
Hey, thanks, dude.
well, besides
I
me, so
try.
you're two
I,
actually. My bad.
honestly, like a lot of my opinions these days just come from like me being a troll. All
You know what? You know what I miss, and I'm just gonna go say it. The top of the hour. I missed
right.
Jesse Ventura really
I did
badly.
wrote I did write in my notes like I don't hate Jim Ross and Bob Caudle, but they are not Ventura and Gorilla.
It's not even close. No,
Not even close.
no,
Not
no.
even close.
They're just yapping while my guy Jesse Ventura is spitting out hard facts and roasting these fucking wrestlers.
Oh, JR spitting out facts. It's just about a bunch of like sports and college shit that no one
Oh,
really
dude,
cares
don't even
about.
get me started on that. I'm a big sports guy, but the amount of references we had to sports during these matches made no sense to me. And I was like, okay, I get it. They went to school there. Who cares?
I just love that Jim Ross knows everything about everyone. Like, if you played a sport, JR knew. He knew what little league team you were on.
Yeah, and
He
your
knew what you bowled your first time you ever went with your dad to the bowling alley. That dude,
Mhm.
he knows.
and
He
your
does his
coach's
research.
middle name.
Oh yeah.
Every coach you ever had alphabetically and their heights. But yeah, let's get into the show though. We had this. I actually kind of enjoyed the beginning intro. It showed the last interaction we had between most of our big fights, and
Yeah.
they were doing some commentary in the background for it as well. But yeah, I didn't think it was that bad. It was kind of like standstill pictures with some movements on it, just showing, hey, this guy kicked his ass, and now they're beefing, and that's how we got here. So it wasn't too bad. I'm pretty sure what was the last thing we watched? Survivor Series didn't even have one of those intros. We just literally
No,
got
we
into
just
the
cut
first
right open
match.
to the yeah, we just cut right to the open crowd. Like to the panning shot of the crowd.
All five major WCW titles will be on the line tonight. Oh, I corrected myself in my notes. NWA this time, not WCW Landon, and Jesus, there's so many
Yeah.
titles.
So right now, Turner just like he bought Jim Crockett Promotion, which was who broadcasted the NWA promotion. So like the show is because NWA was literally showcased on a show called World Championship Wrestling on the Superstation on TBS. And then once Turner bought it, he's just like, well, the company is now called World Championship Wrestling. So NWA is still like operating the same way. It's just doing it through World Championship Wrestling now instead of through Jim Crockett Promotions via a TV show called World Championship Wrestling.
I'm glad he I'm glad he dimmed it down and it's just gonna be
eventually,
WCW.
eventually they will like kind of end the NWA affiliation and the titles will be renamed WCW titles. There's even going to be a point where we have like WCW and NWA tag belts. It's going to get a little hazy for a second, but maybe you won't have to see too much of that depending on how many WCW shows happen in a given year.
But we had two hosts on the night. We had Tony. I did
It's
not write his last name down. What's his name?
Tony
Tony
Schiavone.
Tony Schiavone. And then
Yes.
we had special guest host Magnum TA.
Yes.
I have no
Did you
clue
know
what
who?
he's.
Okay, Magnum TA is a former wrestler.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure that he had a pretty bad car crash in '86, and it kind of ended it. Well, didn't kind of. It ended his wrestling career, which is a shame because like this dude was set to do some pretty big shit. He had a pretty big moment in StarrCade '85 where he won a I Quit match for the U.S. title. I believe it was like a steel cage I Quit match. I could be like remembering it wrong though. But I remember he beat the fuck out of Barry Windham and won the U.S. belt, and then the car crash happened to him and forced him into an early retirement.
He looked really cool.
Yeah, he really did have like a good look, especially for that time period and this promotion, because you can probably tell by looking at just StarrCade that the wrestling presentation is a lot different here. The guys aren't as, not all of them. There are still some really big dudes, but they're not all as jacked and massive as the WWE guys, and there's a little more like you see a lot of guys look a little more like Jake Roberts than you do a lot more Hulk Hogan's and Hercules Hernandez's, you know.
Yeah, yeah. No, I got you. But hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. Every wrestler we see though looks like every other wrestler we've seen in the '80s.
Yeah, everyone's kind of because no one's tights are really like elaborate yet.
Nope.
Because you could
Mm-mm.
get away with having, oh, these are my pink tights. Like, oh, great, you're a fucking consummate professional with your quality, your TV quality tights.
Yep.
You show up anywhere looking like wearing anything that the Midnight Express guys are wearing, and the everyone's biggest criticism to you is going to be you need to get some professional gear made. You need to get some custom gear.
What's also good is like the only person that we've seen is blurred out is Coco Beware in that one match.
Yeah,
His
and
ass was blurred out the whole entire match.
all I had to say was the name of the fucking company he worked for.
Yeah. But yeah, they introduced the commentators for tonight, who are Bob Cuddle and Jim Ross.
Yeah.
Jim Ross, great to see him. Another really famous. I mean, Bob's probably really famous, but this is the perspective of a 23-year-old who's watched wrestling most of his life. Jim Ross, holy shit, he's here.
Yeah. I can't believe that we got Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross for the first time on the same show. That's really cool. Because there's going to be a point in history where Ross is pretty much the voice of Raw and Schiavone is the voice of Nitro.
Jim, right now is on AEW, right?
I believe so. I know he at least was at one point. I don't really keep up with AEW. I can't wait till we get to that point in the history of the show where I can be like, and now we're going to watch AEW shows.
Listen, I'll watch some MJF all day, bro. He's fucking awesome. MJF is who I want to be when I grow up, honestly. He's so
All
fucking
right.
cool. He's the shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we start out this match, our first match. It's for the NWA United States Tag Team Title match. I know that's a mouthful.
Yeah. Can
We
you
have,
imagine in WWF if we had enough tag teams to justify 2 sets of tag belts?
dude. How many championships do we have in WWF right now? The
Like
men's,
in
women's.
terms of where we're at in history or real life.
I think where we're at in history, I think we only have 5. We have the men's and women's tag, the intercontinental.
Yeah, and then the
Oh,
men
we
and
only have 4.
women's and then the women
Oh,
men and women's
women's.
belts
Yeah,
themselves.
I
So
knew it was 5. What
5.
am I doing to
But
myself?
we never really ever get to see the women's and tag titles. We haven't seen the women's championship since Survivor Series in '87.
We haven't
And we
seen a
never,
women's match since Survivor
yeah.
Series '87.
Well, we saw that really good tag match
Oh,
at
the
the Royal
jumping
Rumble.
Bob Angels. Yep, you're right.
Yeah,
So January of 1988, and now we've been what 4 shows deep since then.
yeah, it's been a minute. Because granted, we watched a good bit on the road to WrestleMania 4 because
Yeah,
we added in the Royal Rumble and the
and the
main
main
event
events.
just to not jump straight to WrestleMania.
Hey, main event is 2 episodes from now.
Yeah, because next would be the
Royal
Rumble, right?
And then
Yeah.
main events beginning of February.
All right, and then we get more NWA,
Let's go.
WCW. I mean, fuck.
Yeah, what the hell?
I know, man.
So in this match we have the Fanatics, which is Bobby Fulton.
The Fantastics.
Oh, dude, I keep thinking of the sports logo, and I wrote it every time too.
Oh, okay.
You know the Fanatics, like the brand.
Can we say the Furnatics without getting sued? The Furnatics. That's an It's Always Sunny reference.
And Tommy Rogers, who are the current champions, versus
Yes.
the Varsity Club, which is Kevin Sullivan and Steve Williams.
What did you think of Kevin Sullivan?
Dude,
Just based on appearance alone, before he wrestles, before anything happens that involves a wrestling match, just Kevin Sullivan walking to the ring. How'd you feel about him?
dude, dude, I don't know. I was just like, what the hell is this guy doing here? I was just
So you wouldn't know it by looking at him, but the Varsity Club's gimmick is, they're a bunch of like Letterman sports jocks.
Yeah.
But Kevin Sullivan is their fucking weird friend that apparently wants to start a cult. Holy shit.
Still alive, Kevin Sullivan.
Hey, before we get too far into this match, this match, unless I'm mistaken, I'm forgetting somebody. I think this match might feature the first person we've run into on this show that I have met in real life and had an extended conversation with.
What? Who is it?
It's the referee.
Teddy Long?
Yeah, dude, yeah.
Dude, first of all, holy shit. We get to see Teddy Long as referee. That's awesome.
Yeah, Teddy Long was the referee for the first like 4 matches.
I fucking love Teddy Long. He did great every match too. Yes, some things about this. They were both getting intros.
Yeah, they sure were.
You couldn't.
Some of that music was clearly dubbed.
Yeah, and you couldn't hear the commentators, or I think it was the other way around. You couldn't hear the music because the commentators were just talking over it. So
that was the other way around. You can't hear commentary at all because the entrance music is dubbed over by the network shit or the Peacock shit.
Yeah, because JYD comes out later and it's not his song at all, and I was upset. But we'll get into that one later. But yeah, this is for the United States Tag Team Championship match. For some reason, but yeah, what'd you think of the match?
I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
And this is where I think we're gonna start to have differences because I look at the times of these matches and I complained about less time on WWE shows. Like that 15-minute draw with Jake and Rick Rude, I was like, God damn, dude, this really drug out. But Varsity Club and Fantastics, there comes a point where the announcer goes, 15 minutes have gone by, and I'm like, wait, what the fuck? I thought they were lying and just speeding up time just to make it sound like it was cooler. But I'm checking the time on the little scroll wheel, and fuck it, 15 minutes have gone by. I really like the thing where the Fantastics do this little like double monkey flip on him out of the corner. This is the first time I've seen the Fantastics, and I just really enjoyed them in general. It's easy to notice how different the structure is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like how they structure matches way differently.
So let me intervene real quick.
Yes, please.
I thought this was the ending of this match. We'll get to in a minute, but I thought this was a great first match to an opening pay-per-view.
Okay, awesome, cool. That's also how I felt about it.
In a sense of how the match ends and who wins and stuff. That was one of my main reasons why. Another thing, I mean, these are just two like big beefy like teams, and I like it. I like two meaty guys just fucking hitting each other. Like we literally had two meaty guys versus two buff looking dudes, and it was awesome.
I feel like I've ever heard someone call Kevin Sullivan buff.
No, he was on the beefy. He was on the beefy side.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. He's a little short little fucker though. He kind of looks like the Lorax. He's kind of shaped like a Lorax to me.
Oh, don't kill the trees, brother.
Dude, okay, this match had the funniest hot tag ever. So Rogers, he jumps to make the tag to Fulton, but like he gets the tag, but also at the same time, Sullivan reaches out and like grabs his ankle and trips him, and he just eats complete shit. And then when Fulton comes in, he has to like jump over his partner and awkwardly kick Doctor Death at the same time. Really awkward, but whatever. It was cool. I thought it was hilarious.
You know what was bad? And it's for the whole night too. The fucking camera angles made me so mad during this whole night, bro. It was
So
awful.
that's another thing that's different is like they have different opinions on where their cameras should be angled or stuff like that. They don't.
I
So in my opinion, their production quality is way lower than WWF. Way lower.
You're at Pro South has better production quality than WCW has right now.
Than WCW did in
I do
'88.
not care about the underneath the second rope angle at all. But I just watched 2 hours and 57 minutes of a show where 2 hours and 10 minutes of it was underneath the second fucking rope. And I did not, I was so pissed. I literally wrote awful camera angles. What the fuck's going on? Does Zoom not work on the sides? I don't want to watch the under second rope cam. Someone please call them and get them to fix the camera angle. I want the long shot on one side of the crowd and just zoom in from there. Can't be that hard. But by golly, did I not watch 8 matches where that was the main camera angle? And I was so mad, bro. I was so upset.
um, I had something else I wanted to say. I forgot.
Oh, also Steve Williams played at Oklahoma. If you didn't know, I don't know how
Oh
many
God, dude,
times
Jr.
I don't know how many
Jr.
times JR has to
loves.
tell me that Steve Williams played at Oklahoma. Maybe it was Steve Williams singlet that says Oklahoma on the top, but
Yeah, or the
no, I
letter
think it was
jacket with the big
yeah,
fucking O.
yeah. I think
No,
John or
no.
Jim told
Here's
me.
here's why Jim Ross reminds you is because Jim Ross is from Oklahoma and he fucking loves Steve Williams.
That makes sense, yeah, because yeah, I mean, literally no way,
Okay,
I would have knew.
I remember what I was gonna say. There comes a point where I don't remember who, but one of the baby faces has the heel in the corner and he climbs to the second rope and he raises his fist up to the crowd and the crowd loses their fucking mind. And every time somebody does this, which by the way happens a lot, every time the crowd with such enthusiasm counts until this dude stops punching him. This crowd was fucking awesome all night.
No, I agree. Was this outside? I feel like it was outside in like a big area.
I don't know. I don't really know that much about the Norfolk scope. Not that. No,
North.
it's I don't
Yeah,
think
I mean, I
it's.
guess it is saying, but the way it looked, it was set up. It looked like there was no roof and it was straight outside. But it probably makes more sense that it wasn't. Norfolk scope through history. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's always been like a dome, but it looks like it's a tent covered type arena.
Is it still up? Like, is it still there?
Yeah, that's where it says right now.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, Norfolk Scope Arena.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, I wonder who plays there. Uh,
Yeah, I don't know much about sports at all. I know that WCW will pretty much like they'll frequently visit this venue. This is one of their main spots.
Dude, I wish we were there in the early 90s for the bidding war for some arenas. That would be fucking awesome. What is, don't, I think you might have mentioned earlier, doesn't WCW have their own type of Royal Rumble less? Is that the beach
um.
one?
Okay. No. So they have similar things. They don't really have a Royal Rumble per se, and they definitely don't have anything that they give the amount of prestige and attention to like they do the Royal Rumble. They have a thing called Battle Bowl that they do for a while, which is like if you know what Lethal Lottery is, it's that with the Battle Royal at the end. And
Okay.
then it Lethal Lottery is when you're like randomly you have two pairs of randomly drawn together tag teams face each other, and the winners get into a battle royal at the end.
You do that.
We do. We call it draw to brawl.
They stole it from
But
me.
well, I don't know about that. But and they will later have an event called World War III,
What?
where there's like, yeah, there are 60 fucking people in 3 rings with the over the top rope battle royal.
We're watching that.
Oh, you're fucking right. We are. We're
Dude,
gonna watch a lot of what the fuck is going on WCW insanity. Wait until we get to Halloween Havoc 90, bro.
I kind of want the insane stuff. You know what I used to
Oh,
look
I'm
up?
giving it to you.
I used to look up growing up, like, especially around the era of like the Great Khali and I don't know if Big Daddy V, he was probably there. I used to look up Big Daddy V versus Mark Henry versus Great Khali versus Big Show. I used to like try to make my own matches that never happened. That I just wanted to see.
Yes. And here you are talking about how you don't like 2 massive dudes hitting each other. You want different styles.
I do, but hey, when I was a kid, I was a hypocrite, so. But yeah, so how this match ends, basically, Fulton goes for the Thez Prez, but Williams turns the move into a hot shot. I just wrote down what they said. And Williams covers Fulton for a 3 count, and Varsity Club wins. New United States Tag Team Champions. The heels win to start off the show.
Yeah, and a title change too.
I love it. I mean, literally, you don't really get that anywhere else. So imagine they did Roman versus Cody, WrestleMania 40, and you started night 1 with Cody losing. I guess that was 39.
Oh yeah, imagine, yeah. I don't think it's quite that magnitude, but but yeah, man, I thought this was like a really fun, like you said, just a good opener.
There are some duds on this card, but we'll get to those.
Yeah, there's some points that I feel aren't as high as some other points, you know. Some matches that aren't quite as good, but I'll be honest with you, man, there wasn't really anything in this show that I didn't enjoy at least a little bit.
After the match, we have Tony and Magnum talking. Dude, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what they said. They said Junkyard Dog was there, and then I was just like, "What?"
Yeah.
And
So this is the one I was telling you about last week that I didn't want to spoil for you. But I did tell you, I did subtly hint to you that you'd get to see Junkyard Dog a lot sooner than you thought.
which is
Didn't
good.
think this would be how he was presented, though. And
Does
I'm
he
really
go
sorry.
back to WWF?
I don't think so.
Okay, that's sad because I was hoping for a championship run. But
Well, yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen, buddy. Yeah, he's in WCW until '93, it seems.
oh wow. And does he just retire after that?
He goes to the independent circuit in '95.
Oh, okay. Didn't like.
Yeah, and then he dies in '98 in a car crash.
Damn it, dude. 1 of 1. I would do anything in the world to get him on this podcast. Could you
Yeah,
imagine
he's
you, myself, and JYD in here just fucking talking it up for 30
yeah,
minutes?
just us and our friend Sylvester Ritter.
Is that his real name?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Cool
And
name.
did JR talk about his college football career at all? Or?
He did. I think he played at some. He did. I think he played at some technical college. I forgot where he played. Oh dang, that's gonna mess me up. But yeah, he was talking about how he played at some like tech college or something. Oh man,
Fayetteville State University.
Fayetteville State.
There,
Yep.
yeah. He signed with the Green Bay Packers, but he was placed on injured reserve after suffering a knee injury.
Could have been Super Bowl champion. JYD would have been so awesome.
Imagine.
Yeah, but basically what they were saying is literally after every match, they're just talking about what's to come next. So yeah, I mean, I'll probably say that the next time we go to Tony and Magnum, but yeah. So we instantly after that we get into our next tag team match, which is crazy.
I fucking loved this.
Yeah, this tag I kind of understand it, like how we got here with these two teams.
Okay.
But
I can provide you the story here. Okay.
okay, here, let me introduce him first.
Yes,
So
by all
we
means.
have the Midnight Express, Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane with Jim Cornette versus the original Midnight Express, Dennis Condrey, Randy Rose, and Paul E. Dangerously, which is Paul Heyman.
Yes.
You wanna know something crazy? I looked this up. Paul Heyman and I, right now, if this was 1988 and I was my same age, we are the exact same age. We're both 23.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That is crazy to think. This dude is living the life I wanted at 23 years old. Holy shit. All right, but yeah.
Okay. So the backstory here is so the original lineup was in fact Dennis Condrey and Randy Rose, but at some point Randy Rose was replaced with, I believe, uh, Stan Lane. Then later on, Dennis Condrey was replaced with Bobby Eaton. So you have Stan Lane in the middle here, like connecting the two together in the Venn diagram. So you actually do have like the original two Midnight Express members
On
with the
separate
Midnight
teams?
Express. Yeah. Well, no. So Condrey and Rose, the guys with Paulie, are the original lineup.
Right.
But at some point, Randy Rose was replaced by, like I said, Stan Lane. I might have the specific members mixed up, but I'm pretty sure Stan Lane, Dennis Condrey is the more like known combination of the Midnight Express. And then Bobby Eaton replaced Dennis Condrey at some point. So you have like the two originals on one, and then the initial replacement with the second replacement that are the current Midnight Express with Jim Cornette.
Oh, okay. That makes
It's a little bit of a Pepe Sylvia string board, but you know.
sense. Yeah.
But let me tell you who really fucking loved this story and was into everything that happened. This fucking audience. This crowd lost their fucking mind at several points in this match, which says a lot because they do this all show.
Mm-hmm. What's
So
crazy is that
okay,
the I think it was the I want to say it was the Midnight Express, not the original. I'll call them as the original. We'll do original Midnight. Or so
the originals
original.
are the heels.
Yeah, they get into the ring
Okay.
first, and literally the Midnight Express gives two fucks that come out and they start beating the shit out of them.
Yeah,
Also, Paul Heyman's carrying a cell phone,
a
right?
phone. Yeah,
A
phone.
phone,
Yeah,
and fucking Cornette's carrying a fucking racket around
the
with him.
tennis racket, dude. This
Oh
is
my god.
wrestling. All right, this match. This is not a wrestling match, dude. This is wrestling. This is good shit.
Dude, I wish that I wrote in my notes it's like the racket is to Paul as the cane is to Slick. So, same thing basically.
Well, the phone is to Paul.
My bad. I meant no, I said oh, is his name
Yeah,
not Paul Cornette?
no, Jim Cornette.
Fuck, I did it again. Uh, my bad. Yeah, Jim Cornette, racket, Slick, cane.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. That was kind of the thing, is every manager more or less has their signature prop. You
mhm.
know, like you got Jimmy Hart with his megaphone, you got Paul Lee with his cell phone, and now you have Cornette with his racket, Slick's cane. I don't really know what Bobby Heenan has.
Mhm.
Miss Elizabeth's skirt, you know.
Jesus. uh, but yeah, so after the originals they get out of the ring, Paul's going in there and he's like, "Who wants to see me?"
No,
Jim's
Jim.
in there and he's like,
This
"Who
is
wants to see
adorable.
me kick Paulie's ass right now?"
No, he says butt.
Oh, but yeah,
He says, I'm gonna kick his butt.
dude, they were my favorite part of this match.
Yeah, oh dude, the managers were the best. There's a point where they do this thing where the heels keep falling outside of the ring, and then the ref goes and he talks to the babyface. He's like, "Hey man, you got to keep him in the fucking ring. Don't do that." And while the ref's not looking, Cornette runs over and will just smack the heel
Don't even care. Every
with the
time.
racket. Yeah, he's out for blood, dude. This is personal. And then at one point, Paul Lee gets so fucking mad at him seeing Jim Cornette do this that he just grabs the ring hammer, the bell hammer, and starts ringing the bell.
Dude, that happens more than once a show.
Yeah, it really does.
But yeah, what did you think about this match, though?
I loved it. Stan Lane does a fucking ghetto blaster, by the way. So he listened to the podcast. I'm
Dude,
really glad.
Bobby Eaton was so goddamn good in this match. He was my
Wasn't
MVP.
he?
He
Wasn't
was
he,
so
man?
goddamn good. I literally was just wanting Bobby Eaton in the match the whole fucking time. He is so good.
Yeah, that selling was outrageous, man. They beat the piss out of him.
They did. Did he ever get like a singles run? Do you know? Was he ever
I'm
like? Do you
sure he
know?
had to at some point, right?
Okay.
Like he.
I don't know.
Why
Yeah,
wouldn't he?
maybe
Let's
like
see.
is he like his singles run's gotta be crazy.
I don't know. It's like a championship and accomplishment. See if he had anything.
Bobby Eaton. God, so cool. Oh, he passed away.
Oh man. He's getting a lot of. He gets a lot of things like Wrestling Observer's
He got
award winner
fired.
for most underrated and stuff like that. And also, he got the worst work match of the year.
Really?
Oh, it's an event we'll get to watch. How about that?
You wanna know something crazy? Let
What's that?
me get to that. Okay.
Yeah, he's a lot of tag champions. Oh, he's got a WCW World Television Championship at one point.
Let's go. Let me see
And
something. We're
yeah,
2
and then a
minutes
bunch of
in
tag
because I
titles
want people to know how much we care.
that we don't know anything. That we
Yeah.
don't know shit. We don't know shit about fuck, but we'll
So
look it up.
at this point in WCW, I don't know what year it is. I think it's 92-ish. 92. He's tag teaming with some guy named Anderson. And they're managed by Michael Hayes. Oh, Michael Hayes, look at that.
Yeah.
Eaton and Anderson worked together in tag team and division until new WCW booker Bill Watts fired Eaton.
Yeah, all right. Bill Watts will come in and clean house at some point. WCW is going to get really strange when that time period hits.
Yeah.
Not that it's not strange now. Like, there's plenty of wacky shit in the show. Like, I know I said last week about how you'll see that it's not as like over the top and outrageous in terms of some storylines. And then the first fucking thing I show you for NWA features Kevin Sullivan stepping inside of a fucking shark cage.
Jesus.
And then this, bro. But like this was probably the most southern finish of the entire show. This was awesome. But like, are you got more to say on Bobby Eaton?
I do. Eaton was
All right, let's go.
married to Bill Dundee's daughter.
Okay.
When they first started dating, they had to keep their relationship secret from her father, as her father forbidden her from dating other wrestlers he was booking. When Dundee found out she was dating Eaton, he relented Eaton by not putting him in certain matches.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so this was in the early 80s when Bill Dundee was the booker.
Okay. Man, that Booker spot really seems to cause a lot of trouble in WCW, doesn't it?
Dude, for real. Dude, fucking Eaton and Donna had 4 children together. They had a great life. They married until they both passed away.
All right.
And I got Bill Dundee's over here fucking hating on love. What an asshole.
And now here you are, a big fan of beautiful Bobby Eaton.
Yeah, dude, he was MVP, top 3 of the night too. Like he was fucking great.
All right. Yeah, cool. I loved that anytime Paul Lee gets involved, Cornette will just not waste time sprinting around the ring to try to get him.
Mm.
It's really weird seeing Jim Cornette wanting to fight. It's pretty fucking awesome. And I happen to know that Jim Cornette probably at this time carried a gun on him, so yeah.
Oh god. Oh god.
I mean, he was a heel from the fucking like territories, bro. He's staying strapped.
Mm.
Let's see. I'm trying to. I'm trying to see if I had any more like crazy notes here, but no, because the next crazy note I have is the actual finish, which is fucking wild. But okay.
Yeah, here. You can take the finish on this one.
All right, so Lane, after coming in and doing his whole House of Fire thing, he goes to pin Rose, but he gets blasted with a phone by Paulie. Well, Jim Cornette comes straight in and takes care of this, and he grabs Paulie and starts beating the fuck out of him, kind of starts beating some fuck out of him because he is Jim Cornette, so he probably doesn't really like he shouldn't be throwing good punches. He's a manager. It doesn't matter because this crowd loses more shit. This crowd has found more shit to lose. They're never gonna run out. So now the ref runs back in after Guy is being pinned off of a phone, and ref counts to 2, and he realizes, hey,
There's a phone
that's a
here.
phone. There's a fucking phone in here, man. I can't help but think that you grabbed this phone and hit him with it. And then, out of nowhere, Eaton slides behind him, and they hit the double goozle, which is
Double goozle,
probably
baby.
a new move that I can't wait to do with my friend Ace Haven. The double fucking goozle. And they get the pin.
It was awful.
But
One rolls below them. It's like, when you stand behind your friend and you push him and he falls over you. It's
I
like
have a
one of
move
those.
like that, dude. Do you remember
Oh,
that?
you do use it, yeah.
Yeah. I have something like that. See, it just works. But as soon as they get the pin, there's no time to celebrate because Condrey runs in and they just begin to immediately beat the shit out of everyone with the racket and the phone. This is fucking wild. They are beating the shit out of these, all 3 of them. This is wrestling, dude. I'm having fun. Like, I was enjoying this shit. And this was 17 minutes.
17 minutes. I mean, yeah, I didn't think it was that long. I was having more fun enjoying this match than I don't know. I think I really enjoyed it because Bobby Eaton was awesome. I got to see Paul Heyman in the first time that I get to see him as a manager.
Yeah. And he's great.
Does he ever have a wrestling career or no?
No. He'll be in wrestling matches, but he won't
Yeah.
have an actual career. It's gonna just be like, oh, somehow they tricked Brock Lesnar into agreeing to a match with Brock and Paul or something like that.
Mm-hmm. No, but yeah, what'd you think of the match? I really enjoyed it. I didn't think it was too bad.
I loved it. I love the match. I love the aftermath because eventually, of course, doesn't Eaton like come in and save everybody? Yeah, he eventually grabs the
With a
racket and
racket, yeah.
he fights everybody off.
Mm-hmm.
And so you got your win. So the Midnight Express, the babyfaces prevail, but as JR points out, like the war isn't over, but uh fuck, I want to see more of this war though
Me
because this
too.
was
I need to
awesome. Like
see
this,
who comes out as the actual Midnight Express. I need to see
yeah. Who
who's
becomes
the
the
real
true
people.
Midnight Express? And what's funny is this isn't even the last iteration of the Midnight Express because at some point near the Attitude Era, Jim Cornette's gonna pop up with a new version of this, and it's gonna be fucking. It's gonna be rough. It's not gonna be either of these 2 teams, that's for fucking sure.
I
But
don't remember
oh god.
I don't remember why, but I wrote in my notes, these guys look like 4 different versions of Jake Roberts. I don't know why I wrote it.
I love
But
that you said that because literally earlier I mentioned is like, oh, you tend to see more people that look closer to Jake
Jake
Roberts
Roberts.
than,
Mhm.
and then literally you just said, and I see it. I see it. Like everybody,
Yeah, I just pulled a picture of this match, and yeah, I do see it. It's literally
4
4
really cool dads are having a
exactly.
bomb ass wrestling match at the birthday party.
Dude, have you ever seen those like gender reveals where they do that? And it's like we're
we
gonna have a wrestling match, and whoever wins, that's your
we've
kid.
we've done one.
You did one. Were you in it?
Yeah. No, I wasn't in it.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. Do people just do it for free or does people get paid?
I honestly don't know because I don't run any of that part of the show. I'm more or less a wrestler slash writer. I don't really handle much of the business side. I don't think I can handle it, honestly.
Handle. Um but yeah, so after the match, basically what we have is We have, I think it's the varsity squad. They're talking.
Varsity Club, yeah.
Damn
No,
it.
you're good. Hey, you're good.
Uh,
We're learning. We're learning. We're having a great time learning.
yeah. Being interviewed by Magnum, basically saying the varsity club will always be on top, and superstitions and everything, or suspensions and probations don't matter. Blah blah blah. And then Sullivan starts speaking, and he says that they traded a moron for a genius, which is crazy how they deal with Steiner. Steiner has a promo later, and it's just like, what the fuck is going on? Poor fucking
I,
Steiner. So,
I can't wait to talk about that Steiner promo later,
dude, it
dude.
is crazy.
So so they've recently replaced Steiner out of the varsity club with Kevin Sullivan then. Is that what the story here
Right,
is?
yeah, that's the story. Yeah,
Okay. Because when we see Rick Steiner in the ring, and I'm like, why the fuck is he not in the varsity club? He's literally he's dressed more like a varsity club member than Kevin Sullivan.
literally dressed up in his fucking. I think he went to Michigan. His Michigan.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and the
Eh,
his Michigan
I'm pretty
fucking
sure
leather
they came
jacket.
out to the same music.
Probably because I mean he was just kicked down. I mean he's having the worst 1988 of his life.
Oh, brother. Wait till we get to the tea when it comes to the main event later.
Oh God. Uh,
I mean, it's
so
not like bad, but it's just kind of like, eh. We'll
so
get there.
so our next match, we have
Are you
another
happy,
tag
buddy?
team. I am happy, not with the outcome. Well, actually, kind of. It was kind of funny, but
Dude, yeah, come on.
but yeah, we have Junkyard Dog and Ivan Koloff,
Yes.
who's very like famous in the wrestling world, right? I think they were talking about it too. He's very like
Oh yeah, bro. They love him. He
legendary.
he's
Yeah.
he was a former WWF champion.
WWF. What?
Yeah, that was Vince Senior's before it was just World Wrestling Federation. It was Worldwide Wrestling Federation.
And they were facing off against the Russian Assassins. No named Russian Assassins. It's Russian Assassin 1
Yep,
and
and two.
Russian Assassin 2 with Paul Jones. And so basically, the gimmick here for the Assassins is think of Thing 1 and Thing 2, but they're Russian. and that's what you got. Literally, you're not missing anything.
I,
uh,
I love I just love the simplicity to it. It's like conquistadors, except I'm supposed to kind of take them seriously.
exactly. Yeah. Which, but
I
how did they
sent
let
you.
JYD keep his stuff?
It worked differently back then. WWE wasn't, or WWF wasn't just signing exclusive shit like I own you and your likeness and you can't use this name and all that shit anymore. It was just kind of like we get permission to use your image and all that shit for shows that you were on that we produced and shit like that.
Okay. Yeah,
So they
because
can maintain the right to keep playing, keep distributing videos and shit that he was on.
okay, yeah, because I mean, the whole time I was thinking like, how is because nowadays it's like hell no, yeah, you can't keep that name. Like John Moxley's not Dean Ambrose anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, I doubt John Moxley was putting up that big of a fight to keep the name Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, especially I think is it John Moxley's real name?
I don't know if it's his real name, but it was like the one he basically built on his way to WWE. I honestly don't remember if it's his real name.
And who cares? But yeah,
Yeah.
great to see JYD. I'm gonna say that a million times. Also fun fact, there's potentially 3 Russians in this match, and not one of them's actually from Russia. E- Even Ivan Koloff, who I googled, who's from Canada. So there's not one single Russian in this match, but we are told there's supposed to be 3. So
Well, that's a fun stat.
also the stipulation for this match: if the Assassins lose, they must unmask, and Paul Jones will retire.
Yeah, Paul Jones, whose job is to just sit with the assassins and just be Russian for them.
Yes.
That's basically all his job is, because he doesn't really do much until he just randomly will stand on the apron and get punched for a massive pop.
It's just another gimmick of well, I guess it's kind of not, but a really real American, like we love this guy, he's American versus Russians. I mean, we're still in the 80s, so the Cold War is still
Yeah.
very much alive. And we're gonna keep pounding that fucking nail until we can't anymore.
Russian assassins are basically the Bolsheviks, but we'll put a
Mhm.
mask on them so you're not seeing who's losing every match.
Yeah, they're the killer bee Bolsheviks.
So I sent you a nice screenshot of this show
Hmm. Let me
on
open it back up for you.
during the during the the entrances of this match. There's a wonderful sign uh, that is misspelled. It's a sign for the
Oh, it
assassins,
is.
I believe, but instead
Oh my God, ass
it's the
Asians.
it's the ass Asians.
Ass Asians unmask. Yep. How that's there's no way someone drew that though, right?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Either way, it's hilarious that a misspelling made it this far. Like it made it to camera. Not only did they make the sign and spell it wrong, they kept it with them the entire day. Never was like, "Hey, I misspelled assassins." Never. And then they got to the show and they hold it up, and the cameras catch it
They probably
and they keep
showed it
it.
off to people too, like their
Yeah.
friends and the people around them. Yeah, look, assassins unmasked. We hate them. And there's
But it
that
could have
one
easily
guy.
been somebody. It could have easily been something where, like, the guys, I'm gonna misspell this sign and
Yeah.
see if I can get it on TV.
Let's see if I can get an ass Asian out here.
Let's get yeah. I don't actually care about Russian assassins, but I gotta spread awareness for ass Asians.
Yeah, for real. Take your
They
mask off,
have to,
ass Asians.
yeah. Unmask ass Asians. Show us your face.
I'm sick and tired of you guys wearing
Yeah, I've
those
got to know.
masks.
We've got to know. The ass Asians can't hide from us anymore. We have to reveal who the ass Asians are. We must know. They cannot remain anonymous.
um but yeah, so basically this match, what'd you think about it?
I mean, it was a tag match. It was cool just seeing Junkyard Dog again, and I thought Ivan Koloff was pretty cool. He's kind of a monster, kind of a beast. They present him pretty well, at least.
Mm.
I really can't believe the finish is what it is, though. Because up until the fuck shit, this just had like quick pay per view squash written all over it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it looked like, all right, we got to get Junkyard Dog and Ivan Koloff out on TV, give them a few minutes, let them get a win. No, not what happens.
Yeah, and apparently they were very shocked. I was reading online, like Koloff being a baby face, that's like never happened.
Hmm.
So they were very like, why is he like why is he the baby face here? Like he could easily just be the manager of the other team.
Or it could just be Ivan Koloff versus Junkyard Dog.
That can also be a thing, yeah. But Ivan has to wear a mask though, so someone gets unmasked.
Yeah, and Paul Jones still has to retire.
Do you think I actually hope we see them in the next WCW event? They're still wearing the mask. I hope we get it at a later time though, the unmask.
I hope the thing is still in his mask and you can tell.
Oh God, yeah. Some couple
So,
things. He
oh, go
still
ahead, go ahead.
JYD was still doing his headbutts. Still did it
Yeah,
at the
like
beginning of the match.
right away. Like he did it
Hmm.
right away. He didn't waste any time. He knew he only had 6 minutes because everyone else was using up all the fucking time.
Uh, also during the match, so I mean, literally all this was is just like we're just gonna wear and tear each other down, and we're just gonna do all these clubbing forearms, and I'm Ivan, and I'm gonna do the Russian hammer choke on you, and basically what this match was.
There's a point where the commentary they're debating to each other if tag matches should have a second referee on the floor.
What's your opinion?
I don't know. We should ask Jesse and Gorilla every other WWF show we've watched.
I think there should be double refs nowadays.
I don't give a fuck
Me
because the
either.
ref distraction is the perfect tool to do cool shit.
Do you have
It's part of the story.
do you got a really fun ref distraction that you've done?
I'm sure I have. I don't know if I could remember one like specifically off the top of my head that I would
Like you
like.
did one, you beat the shit out of the person with a chair or something.
Oh well, the ref wasn't distracted there, and that was the problem.
Oh shit.
No, I got no, the match from Friday when I like chucked the dude, the chair dude's fucking
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah. But so one of the assassins puts what is it he puts in his head in his mask?
I don't know.
Because they tell the story very well. Because at the beginning of the match, you see the referee checking the mask of both of the ass Asians.
I don't know what he does. The camera angle is like to the side where you just see him putting something in his mask in his headbutt. So what happens?
There's
Well,
just this awkward bulge in his forehead.
also before JYD misses a headbutt and he completely knocks himself out on
Yeah,
the ground.
yeah, wonderful shit. He just falls, and that was
Um,
it.
but yeah, so here's what happens at the end of the match. Uh, the ass Asians miss a Russian missile. And then Ivan makes the hot tag. He double teams the assassins with JYD. Ivan then hits a sickle after JYD hits an atomic drop. And then Jones handed an object to one of the the assassins, and then he basically goes into the ring, stops the 3 count, and then headbutts Ivan. The guy who wasn't even legal in the ring gets the
Right.
pin, and it's over. And the assassins win due to a illegal use of an object in the head. Literally
Junkyard
have no
Dog is
clue.
fucked over yet again, but there's no
Mhm.
Tito Santana this time, man.
Yeah, when does he get here? I need some.
Yeah. When does Tito Santana go to WCW? And
When
then
does
you're gonna
Tito get
ask me
here?
to let's stop watching WCW. I don't know if Tito
That
Santana ever goes to WCW.
that would be the perfect time to stop watching WCW.
I bet it is, but
He
guess what?
he gets there and they're like, "All right, Tito, you're the new WCW champion." I'm fucking. Oh, I'd be so upset. But yeah, so the assassins win. We don't get to see who they are. You might know who they are, but don't tell me because I hope if they're in a future uh pay per view.
Um,
I don't know if you know
I
it, but
mean, I can pull up who they are, but I don't fucking know a thing about them.
okay, good. Yeah, don't do that.
The second one sounds familiar, but I won't say anything. All right, man.
And then we kick to Ross and Claude. They're basically what they're doing is they're recapping the night. Um, Also, this next match is a doozy. It is so crazy, bro. So this next match, it's for the NWA TV title match. We have Rick
Okay.
Steiner, who was
Yeah,
at Michigan,
he sure
versus
was.
Mike Rotunda, who is the current champion, who's at Syracuse. For everyone who needs to know this, like I was
Well,
told 30 times during these matches.
as I say, Jim Ross, he's gonna make sure you know. He's like, and then Rick Steiner takes the head of Mike Rotunda from Syracuse. Syracuse goes off the ropes and hits Rick Steiner from Michigan. He'll just keep doing that over and over again. The former linebacker from whatever is falling out of the ring.
Look at you doing sports commentary over there.
Uh,
But
you can tell he used to be a defensive lineman.
the real kicker here, though, is that Kevin Sullivan will be in a cage
Yeah.
that is suspended above the ring
Yeah.
throughout the entire match
Uh
for some
huh.
reason.
It's Kevin Sullivan, man. He won't stop getting involved. Also, Kevin Sullivan's crazy, so he wants to lock himself in a fucking cage, and this is this. Why do they have this?
I don't know,
Why?
but the
Why
balls
do
to do
they?
this in the 80s is crazy.
Why do they have this fucking cage?
I don't know, and there is no way you could pay me enough to get in a cage, bro.
Like, is
Above
this
the ring.
the first example of having Ted Turner's money?
Yeah.
Is we now have a shark cage from like whatever fucking weird TV show they're filming right now.
That's
Because
so weird.
just seeing that thing, because at first I was like, okay, he's gonna be locked in a cage and he's gonna sit on the ramp. No, this thing started lifting, crazy. And then again, I think to myself, like, I literally told Landon that these matches were gonna be more like grounded in reality and not as insane and off the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm looking at a shark cage with a guy that's supposed to be a sports fanatic, but he's dressed like a cult leader. And we haven't even gotten to the match where somebody's stabbed with a spike.
What?
Well,
What's
that didn't happen on this show, but in the build-up, it happened to Dusty Rhodes.
damn? What's also crazy is we get to see Rotunda and Wyndham, but they're not a tag team.
No, Wyndham's like he's another singles champion.
Is that remember weren't they in WrestleMania 1?
They were. Oh my God, they were the American Express.
Yep.
Or the U.S. Express or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I didn't even think about that. That's wow. Okay.
Yeah. And Mike is the father of Bray,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They're all like related through the Blackjack Mulligan.
It's the bloodline.
Multiple. Yeah, it's the Southern White bloodline.
The 80s bloodline, yeah.
Yeah, it's not quite like Von Erich level of family,
Oh
but
God, yeah, I hope not. Jeez.
yeah, fuck, yeah, you're right, yeah. Yeah, it's not as dark. It's just weird and a lot of pushes that never happen.
Yeah. But yeah, what'd you think about this match? I definitely have a few notes here.
Okay, Teddy Long is pouring sweat at this point
Yes.
because this is fourth match in a row.
He is like every comedian when they're on stage and the light's too bright and they have the towel to watch their head. Yeah.
This kind of the match. This was the one to me where I got to a point where I was like, okay, maybe we should do something different. Because I swear to God, they went through like 50 headlocks, and every time someone like grabs the guy's hair.
The wear and tear match. Yep.
Yeah, and these two are supposed to be the wrestlers, but the first thing they do is start punching each other, which I thought was kind of funny. But as soon as I put in my notes that I think that this match is kind of like getting stale after the fifth headlock and hair pull, Steiner goes fucking flying out of the ring.
Yeah, literally like headbutts the ground.
It's also in this match where I note that Jim Ross pretty much knows everyone's sport history. Like this is where it got to. It hit. This dude went into fucking overdrive when it came to these two sports backgrounds.
Yeah, it's hard to tell from their Letterman jackets and their singlets what college they went to.
Yeah,
but
these guys might actually be college athletes.
Yeah, I'm so glad that Jim Ross is always there to tell me 3 times every other minute that they played in college. They played more than one sport. And guess what? They were damn good football players.
I was about to say, you can tell that they're very fucking athletic because this match, they do some athletic shit. Every time they go for a backdrop, the guy taking the backdrop goes flying into the air. Like he soars. And he just glides over perfectly and just takes this huge backdrop out of the sky.
Yeah,
fucking wild.
Backdrop into a chin lock, into a hair tug, into a Teddy Long telling them to quit tugging on the hair.
Yeah, and there's another thing that's very similar to that I noticed here that I love. There's a point where like Rotunda's got him in some kind of hold, and anytime the referee is in Steiner's face to ask if he's going to give up, he'll put like Rotunda will reach his leg out and put it on the rope and get some extra leverage for the hold, and then Teddy Long will look up like, "Hey, you pulling the ropes?" No, man, I'm not pulling the ropes. I'm just fucking. I just got a headlock situation. Ask him if he gives up, and then when he asks him again, he'll put his foot back on the rope to get more leverage in that hold. It's pretty great shit. I love that like easy classic heel shit, dude. I'm trying to see where I was at here.
Oh, you're good. I'll add. So they were. How long was this match? Because they were heading
17:59.
Yeah, they were close to that 20-minute mark. I think after the 15 minutes, Steve Williams actually comes out to the ringside.
Yeah, because he's not locked in a shark cage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And who rings the bell? I totally forgot.
I don't know because it's not the timekeeper. Someone does. At first I thought it was Williams. I thought that was why he ran out.
But it ended up not being him.
I don't know who the fuck it was. I guess they never like resolved that.
Yeah.
It literally ends up not mattering at all.
Yeah. Yeah, because Teddy thinks that it's been the time limit, so he's calling it a draw. And
then the timekeeper's like,
the
I didn't fucking do that.
yeah, the ref or the timekeeper is like, he's like, hey, no, he's pointing, they're doing all these things. But guess what? Sullivan's fucking cage is being lowered, and he's
Yeah, because
getting
they
to
heard the
go out
bell
of it.
ring, so they let him
Yep,
down.
yep. And they're wanting to start the match again, and then Steiner rams like both of the Varsity Club together, and then pins Rotunda to win the title.
Crowd lost it
It was
again. This was like a
crazy.
big win.
Hmm.
They treated this like Steamboat won the Intercontinental title, man. They lost their fucking mind. Real quick before I forget, as soon as the craziness happens with the bell and like the heels are like looking like they're about to get away with it. There's a dude in the camera shot in the crowd that is flipping the bird like harder than I've
Was
ever
it
seen any
blurred?
actual person. No.
Wow.
This dude this dude like to me changed the game on how to flip a bird. Like this dude he was committed to it. He believed in that middle finger.
Dude, WWE might need to call you to
Crazy.
watch all their peacocks and tell them what they missed. Especially if they're letting the birds fly out here. What the hell's going on? This is a kid show.
So I feel like other than the ass Asian tag match, this might have been the match that was like the the one I liked the least. But I have to say liked the least because I still quite liked it. The moment was good at the end. Like the payoff was really good.
Hmm. But have you noticed that we have a theme so far?
What's that?
We have heels, or yeah, heels win, title change. Then we have babyface win. Then we have heel tag team lose. Now we have
Or he'll
babyface
tag team win.
heel tag team win. Yep. And now we have babyface tag team, or not tag team, but babyface singles
Yeah.
champion win. So we're going back and
And
forth on heel and face.
that trend continues, it looks like. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it does actually.
Technically it does, yeah. How did you feel about this though, like the match itself? Because I noticed these matches are longer than the
Yeah,
WWF matches we're used to.
yeah. I mean,
But I
I
feel
don't
like the
mind
wrestling
it.
is far better.
Yeah, the wrestling is far better. There's a lot more moves because we've seen some, no offense, but like some Rick Rude matches where it's literally just I'm gonna hold you on the ground and just try to overpower you for 5 minutes and then it'll be your turn.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like not to necessarily say the WWF guys can't do matches like this. It's that they're not told to. WWF's presentation isn't go have a fucking banger ass match while you tell your story. It's go entertain that fucking crowd and while you tell your story. Here it's entertain the crowd through your fucking wrestling. But to be fair, this is what that crowd wants. Like this crowd's popping for everything, the wrestling, the moments, the interference, the dumb fucking moments where
Mhm.
the bell rings for no reason and everyone's confused. They thought Rick Steiner was fucked over and they were pissed off. And when he reversed all of that shit and won the belt anyway, they lost it.
Yeah,
And Rick Steiner and Alex prevailed, dude.
it was
Fucking
great.
Alex. I have loved this show so far, dude. StarrCade is awesome.
Okay. I mean, yeah, we're halfway done with it, and oh yeah, all I got for you is an okay. It's
I
been
mean, they look, man. It's a subjective art form. It's all good.
yeah,
Remember when I didn't like Brother Love,
yeah, and you're
but you
insane.
loved
Yeah,
Brother
you're
Love?
insane. Yeah. But yeah, Rick Steiner wins, new champion. After we have Tony and Magnum, they're talking about the match. Magnum points out that basically that the champions are 0 for 2 tonight, and the two of them talk about how the upcoming matches and what's to come, and basically that's all it is. That's literally every time they go to them. It's either Magnum's interviewing someone or they're saying, "Hey, guess what match is next?" and everything.
Yeah, I feel like they're doing this in place of keeping the camera on the guy as he walks back up the ramp and all that shit. But
Uh huh.
they're not going to 50 promos and stuff. Because I'll be honest, I'm going to assume that that most of these people probably aren't going to be doing the same style of promos as WWF guys. So like everyone's promo is going to be how good of a wrestler they are. and that's gonna get kind of boring and dull. So we'll save that for because Ric Flair didn't even get a promo going into his match. He got one after,
Yeah,
but like the biggest star in the company didn't even get to talk before before the main event. But think of how many times we would have already seen and talked about Hulk Hogan by now.
a lot. We would have
But
saw
instead, oh good,
Hogan working out. We would have saw
yep,
Hogan what he ate for lunch that morning.
yeah.
Who he or what hotel he stayed at. Yeah,
But instead, the Fantastics and Varsity Club get 15 minutes. Instead, the Midnight Express gets almost 18. The TV title gets 18 minutes.
that's
There
insane.
isn't a single match on this card outside of Russian Ass Asians and Junkyard Dog and Koloff that went below 10 minutes. And even then, Junkyard Dog and Ivan Koloff didn't need to go 10 minutes with the Russian Ass Asians.
No, is that your new favorite tag team?
No.
I might get you a shirt that says Russian Ass Asians.
Russian Ass Asians, yeah. Unmask! You fucking
Unmask the
scum.
Ass Asians. Dude, imagine someone carrying that during the COVID years where people wearing masks.
Unmasked COVID ass or Russian ass Asians. That's who rigged the election was the Russian ass Asians.
Mm, yep, you found out. Could you imagine it comes back to the Ass Asians? Oh my
Yeah,
god.
the only thing that doesn't line up there is like didn't allegedly the Russians help Trump win the election or something like that.
It was something like
When
that, yeah.
yeah, so if they were actually supporting Trump, they wouldn't be wearing masks during COVID, so this joke wouldn't work.
Yeah. It it,
But
it, it all comes back to the masks.
yeah.
But yeah, so next match, we actually get another title shot, third one of the day so far.
Oh, dude, all the major titles are up for grabs, man.
Yeah, the NWA.
Even one, even one non-important title, the U.S. Tag Belts or whatever.
Nah, bro, we needed those.
Oh, I love that match.
Yeah. So we have the NWA US title match. We have Barry Windham, who's pretty cool going on after his old tag team partner, uh, with JJ Dillon. Currently, Barry Windham is the champion, and
Yeah, he's also a member of the Four Horsemen.
right now.
Yeah, that's why he's with JJ.
Oh, okay. And who was the other two or other three?
I don't think there really are four of them right now. I think they're just Horsemen, because the other two were Tully and Arn. Sting and Lex Luger were joined in at some point. I know the reason for the title match tonight is Lex Luger was a member of the Horsemen, but began to have issues with other members, and then he ended up leaving the group. So I think right now, like, we literally just have Flair and Wyndham, unless I'm missing something. But
didn't even give Mike a seat at the table. But all right. But yeah,
Mike Rotunda. I'm pretty sure Mike Rotunda at one point was a member for a little bit. Like, there's been so many goddamn members of that group. I don't remember. Like, Sting will be a member at some point.
Of the Four Horsemen.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and Barry is facing off against Bam Bam with his manager from WWF, Sir Oliver Humperdinck. They go together like two peas in a pod. Honestly, from Bam Bam's character, Sir Oliver Humperdinck is the best person to put with him. So they did get one thing right. What's your opinion on Oliver?
I haven't really like seen him do too much. I mean, it's cool to have like a babyface manager, but there's not much you can do with a babyface manager because the manager's entire point is to get involved and fuck over the
Be
babyface.
an asshole, yeah.
Because I mean, for a while we had Captain Lou,
Mm-hmm.
and then when we got to Oliver Humperdinck, I was like, oh, a babyface manager, that's cool, that's new. It wasn't. We had Captain Lou, but Captain Lou never did too much, so I didn't get to remember. Like, I didn't remember anything he had done, and that's kind of what Oliver Humperdinck is falling into. And it's not necessarily anything on him; it's just victim of circumstance. So there's just not much for a babyface manager to do.
Yeah.
And especially when your client is Bam Bam Bigelow, like, he can kind of take care of most shit for himself. You know,
He's a big
he like
dude.
if he needs help, he's not the badass that we are portraying him to be. So he's kind of his hands are kind of tied in that sense. I'm assuming they're probably just like really good friends or something like that. And it's just like, hey, I'll come to WCW, but I'm bringing my boy with me. And
Apparently,
they're
he
like,
wasn't even in WCW that long before he goes to Japan.
okay, cool, all right, that's good. I know that Bam Bam, he comes back to WWF in a few years. He'll even go back to WCW at a certain point. He kind of, he just kind of travels around, man. Bam Bam
Wherever the
just
money is,
wrestles, yeah.
man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Uh, but yeah, what'd you think about this match?
Let me get my notes back up here. I first of all, I want to note that the U.S. title itself is fucking beautiful. I love that title design. I actually forgot to mention this in the television title match. I think that iteration of the world television title is probably one of my favorite title designs of all time. It looks so nice. Anyway, finally we get a new ref, man.
Yeah,
Wyndham.
sorry, Teddy Long. Yeah, your 4 matches is up.
Here comes I don't remember his name.
Ref number 2.
Yeah, Tommy Young. Tommy Young. There he goes. Thank you, Tommy Young, for relieving Teddy Long. He's going to be drinking plenty of water. Um,
Hold on, player.
I, I really like this spot towards the beginning where Wyndham picks up Bam Bam and gives him like a back suplex, but Bam Bam pops straight back up, and the
Dude,
crowd, as you could imagine,
goes
loses
crazy.
their mind.
Bam
Yes,
Bam is so good at
he
selling.
he is. He's a perfect big guy babyface.
Exactly. He is. It is. Oh my God, he is so good. And literally, like, yeah, even those spots there where he's getting his ass kicked. Like Hogan does it too.
Yeah,
Doesn't he have a phrase for it?
yeah. It's hulking up or
Yeah,
going into
hulking up. Yeah,
Hulkamania or whatever. Yeah.
basically. Yeah, where he's like getting his ass kicked and it's been happening for a couple minutes and all of a sudden after one hit he's back to being normal and everything. I love that. And Bam Bam does so good. Even when Bam Bam's flying through the ropes and headbutting the outside floor or when he's going into the
Hmm.
turnbuckle, it's fucking great. Also, Bam Bam does a thing to him in the corner. I forgot what he does, but um, Barry Windham, he basically just like acts like he's in shock or whatever and just falls and face plants on the ground. So both is
Oh
very good
yeah,
at
yeah,
working
yeah.
each
That
other.
yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
forgot.
dude, Barry Windham also fucking awesome.
Yeah. I actually enjoyed this match a lot.
This
So
was a good
far,
match.
yeah, so far this is the best singles match that we've had.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. um, so I really loved that even in WCW, nobody is safe from the dreaded top rope splash missing
Hmm.
because it happens to poor Bam Bam. Uh,
What's your opinion
I
on
love
Bam
that.
Bam?
I what like why would I just we just talked about it. He's fucking great. I
Oh,
think
I
he's like
know,
a.
but like I didn't know if you like. Yeah, like no, he's great, but like, do you like him, like him?
I
Like,
mean, yeah,
would it be
he's not
okay if he
somebody where
wasn't
I'm like.
there? Type of
I
vibe, you know what
mean,
I mean?
I I guess I don't know. Like, I really enjoy it when I get to see him, and it hasn't. I haven't had enough time with him not being in WWF, I guess, because we only got to see him in one show,
Uh huh.
Survivor Series. Where he didn't really get to do too much, except somewhat have a fire up just to lose to Andre. But like after this, if I find out that Bam Bam is featured on Chi-Town Rumble, that would be pretty cool. But I don't really know if he is because I know what Barry Windham's doing at Chi-Town Rumble, and it's not a rematch with Bam Bam Bigelow. Because I think the point of Bam Bam being here right now is to give Barry Windham a big heel to beat,
Hmm.
even though it's a fucking count out.
Yeah. So basically, what happens at the end of this match? They are fighting on the outside. Um, who sends a who sends a Wyndham does a crossbody that
Yeah, and they
sends
go flying
both the
over.
men to the outside. Yeah. They start beating the shit out of each other on the floor. Bam Bam hits
Yeah,
an atomic drop and misses, and then he basically gets charged into the is it the post, right, by
yeah,
Wyndham, And then Barry just rolls into the ring and bam, 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 bam's counted out. Bam. How many times can
So
you say bam in one sentence and it still makes sense?
there was something I started to put together in this match, and I don't know if everybody's doing it. It's just a trend I noticed. Is I'm pretty sure what most people are doing are going off of the ring announcer's time cues
Uh-huh.
as to be like, oh hey, all right, let's go to the thing now to start the finish, or all right, let's get to this next part because we know we're this far in. Because several times you'll hear 15 minutes down, whatever remaining,
Yep.
and the pace just kind of shifts. Like we go to something that seems a little too like planned, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not to dog on it because like you got your resource, you fucking use your resource. And it looked much better doing it this way than Rick Rude and Jake Roberts putting like exchanging rest locks and like rest holds and arm bars and shit,
For
you know, for
30
15
minutes.
yeah, until the bell just happened to fucking ring.
Mm-hmm.
Like these guys everybody on this show, whether they have long or not, goes fucking full on the entire match.
Yeah,
Like there's
it doesn't
never
matter at all.
any
Yeah.
yeah, there's never any part where you're just like, oh yeah, this is the slow part of the show where like, oh, this guy's not really feeling it. Fucking everyone went for it. There's slow parts of the match, you know, where like people are in holds or they slow the pace down a little bit while the heels take control. But for the most part, this show is like on the gas the whole way.
Mm-hmm.
There's not any like palate cleanser dumbass match randomly with the double DQ finish. Like, you know,
Yeah, and we're not gonna have a squash match here
no, because
where
even
we're
the
wasting
squash
our
that I thought
time.
it was, Junkyard Dog lost.
Yeah. Yeah, what a fucking terrible turn
the,
that took.
the worst jobber ever. You forgot to fucking lose, asshole.
Imagine Imagine he actually knocked him out with that headbutt and
And
that was
Junkyard
his
Dog's like,
move.
dude, fuck this. I'm going back to WWF. They don't do this kind of shit there. I can win tournaments by count out over there, dude. But I thought this was awesome. I thought Bam Bam looked great. As I mentioned, he plays the babyface, like the big babyface perfectly. And then Barry Windham, holy fuck, dude, he just came off like a badass.
Hmm.
And it was cool to see because you know we get a lot of heels that their gimmick is, you know, they're cocky or they're just an asshole or they're chicken shits that manage to get away from every fight and never have to take a fight head on. But Barry Windham's gimmick is he doesn't fucking care and he overcomes it anyway. He's just a jackass about it, even if he has to cheat. Uh, I thought Barry Windham was fucking awesome. He even got his own moment where he begins hulking up and starts beating the shit out of Bam Bam. Um, and you know, and eventually he fucks up Bam Bam's knee, and that kind. I think that plays into when he can't get back into the ring or something. But
Yeah.
Barry Windham, dude, I wasn't like I never really got to see much Barry Windham over the years either. Mistake on my part. Barry Windham's fucking awesome.
Uh, who had a better match? Or who was a better wrestler in the two matches that you've seen, Mike or Barry?
Barry.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Do you
Yeah,
think
I
it's
I
because
thought it
who
was
they
great.
were fighting, or you just think they're just better?
Well, I don't know because like Rick Steiner and Mike Rotunda, their styles should work super well together, and they should be able to have a very technically sound match. And honestly, they did. And then you know Barry Windham and Bam Bam are two different styles, so you get kind of like you get two flavors of ice cream here. You get like a vanilla or a chocolate kind of thing,
Yeah.
or a vanilla chocolate swirl because of the mixed styles. So it's really hard to say, because it's not like I could necessarily say Rick Steiner is or is not a better wrestler than Bam Bam Bigelow. You know, I've seen this one Rick Steiner match, and most of the Rick Steiner I've seen has been in a tag team anyway.
Hmm.
So
But
it's
yeah,
like I enjoy the Barry Windham match more
yeah,
for what that's worth. Even though I didn't really like the countout finish, and the Mike Rotunda Rick Steiner finish was way fucking crazier.
yeah, with the steel cage and all.
Yeah,
What if they had to have
yeah.
a steel cage match in that tiny ass steel cage? That'd be crazy.
I've been the funniest shit ever, especially two wrestlers. Like, how the fuck would that
Give
work?
me Bam Bam and one man gang in there. See what happens.
They'd never fit. You
Akeem.
need a bigger shark cage. Yeah, sorry, Akeem. Yeah,
Yeah.
one half of the Twin Towers, man.
Yeah. Oh my God. So after the match, we have Magnum. He's interviewing the new TV champion, Rick
Yeah,
Steiner. Rick
and his
says,
friend Alex.
yeah, his friend Alex. You're right. My bad. Uh, Rick's basically saying, Mike, he was a tough wrestler. Every dog has his day, and he hates that everyone calls him stupid because he's not.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean he graduated college, so he can't be like that stupid.
yeah,
But
and
they
plus,
when they bring up like every dog has his days, this is, my dog's name is something, and he's at home in his cage.
hmm
Like what the what the
I didn't
fuck
bring him
is
this time. Flights and everything. They don't
yeah.
let him on. Did you notice that the mic just cut out for a good 15 seconds here?
Yeah, I think this is why they don't do a lot of backstage interviews because their mics can't fucking handle it right now. This happened in the first one too with the Varsity Club. The first like 10 seconds of it, you just couldn't hear anything.
hmm Um, yeah, and did you see how this interview ended as well? He get
I
he
go
goes
just
to shake his hand. He's like, "Yeah, here." He like puts his hand out like he's gonna shake his hand, and he shakes the hand that's holding the mic instead of Magnum's hand that's not holding the mic. He just literally like he's like, "Yeah, here you go." It was not a good look for our Steiner guy.
no.
But yeah, the
Hey, before we go away from this interview right here,
okay.
I just want you to picture that the original booked main event for StarrCade by Dusty Rhodes, and what could or could not be, depending on your perspective, an attempt to try to push Ric Flair out of the territory. The main event for StarrCade was supposed to be Ric Flair defending against Rick Steiner in a steel cage match.
Whoa.
That was what Dusty Rhodes wanted, but he wanted Rick Steiner to beat Dusty Rhodes, or not, sorry, to beat Ric Flair clean in 5 minutes in a steel cage match.
Rick Steiner?
Rick Steiner, the dude that you just talked about how awkward he was and has the face painted on his hand and stuttered through a promo and pulled Rotunda's hair for 18 minutes, was Dusty Rhodes' picked guy to beat Flair for the belt on this night.
I don't like that.
Obviously that didn't happen.
Right now is Ric Flair's title run, right? Like his long one?
I don't know. 'Cause I don't really.
I
I
hope
don't know
Ric
much
Flair
about like his
wins.
title lineage. I just know that there's a fuck ton of title reigns. There's more than the 16 that WWE acknowledges. Like Ric Flair himself probably considers himself like 20 something time champion. Because there's a lot that's like WWE just doesn't recognize for whatever reason.
Man, I hope they let John Cena break it.
It
Him or Randy so bad, bro. Oh my god. I will die.
would
Yeah.
complete Randy's. It would come full circle with Randy's career if he could like end his career doing that because he could be a legend killer.
Oh, that works so well. I'm gonna get you in front of WWE real quick.
Yeah, they'll send
We'll
me away.
we'll set up a meeting.
They'll send me away. I watch too much wrestling.
You and Triple H in the same room, fucking cooking up the storyline.
Yeah, I'm like, look, Triple H, I watched the Wrestling Classic, and I got some questions about some of these finishes.
Yeah.
We're not doing this shit anymore, okay?
Yeah, they're too good nowadays. These
Yeah,
finishes, we have too many pinfalls. You ever thought about a couple countouts here and there?
but I need Seth Rollins to go up top and go for a splash, not a frog splash, not a phoenix splash, just a splash, and someone's gonna roll out of the way and pin him.
Yeah. I need Seth Rollins to miss a couple of these.
Solo and Cody are gonna stumble outside of the ring, and they're just gonna keep fighting and fighting and fighting, and not be able to hear the referee count to 10.
And I need the ref to count on 2 times speed, not this one,
Oh,
two, three.
absolutely.
Yeah. I need it to be 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it's over.
The quicker, the better.
Exactly.
We got Hogan interviews to get to.
Yep. I need the Randy interviews of how he's coming to take claim to being the best wrestler of all time. But yeah, so next match we have the NWA World Tag Team Title match. We have Sting and Dusty Rhodes versus the Road Warriors, who is the current champion, with Paul Ellering. Really cool. We get to see Dusty and Sting and the Road Warriors as well. I mean, we literally talked every time we saw the Road Warrior knockoffs currently at
Yeah.
WWF.
You
Like,
see what I mean, though?
yeah, I do. By a lot. And oh my God, I cannot wait for the Road Warriors to show up because Jesus Christ, bro. Are we
Yeah,
not
it will
missing
be.
them?
Yeah, it would be great. Yeah. I was like, I'm about to say Road Warriors are the only team that we haven't seen before that I feel like I've seen like twice already.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, kind of the same gimmick with face paint, too, you know?
Yeah, oh, dude, the same face paint even
Yeah. How many people do you, off the top of your head, how many people you think had face paint at
on
this?
this show.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm going to say at
Uh,
least 7 people had face paint.
well, Bam Bam's was like a head tattoo, so that's not. I only can only think of the three in this match. Am I missing one?
I
No,
can
Kevin Sullivan, right?
Yeah, Kevin Sullivan had face paint.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't think any of the Midnights did. The Russian ass Asians were wearing masks.
yeah, but face
Steiner,
paint's
Steiner, and
wrong.
Rotunda are too straight, like too straight and forward to do it.
Maybe I was
When
wrong then.
okay,
Luger didn't.
no, Luger and Flair definitely didn't. Luger didn't
Hmm.
need anything to present himself because that dude's physique was enough.
Yeah. Uh, by a mile, dude. Holy
We'll
shit.
get to that obviously, but also the Road Warriors are pretty fucking big.
Yeah, they are. They're like if the Powers of Pain and Demolition. They
Yeah,
they kind of
yeah,
remind me of
had a
them, but
cohesive the had a cohesive thought.
yeah.
If
And they're
those two
like,
tag teams
hey,
could like get on the same fucking page and idea together and
let's
stop and drop
just
the BDSM shit.
yeah, let's just be a better tag team with a better
Yeah,
gimmick.
let's just wrestle. Let's just wrestle very well and be a good.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about like very well, but they're a good tag team. Like they got their act. They know what their thing is. Be strong, be big, be Road Warriors, and they're good at all three of those things.
Hmm. But yeah, what'd you think on this match?
Uh, I mean, it was kind of one of the more matches because I'm pretty sure that by this point, Dusty is all but done with this promotion. He's kind of on his way out. Road Warriors, historically, from what I've heard, not very easy to work with. I'm sure that probably wasn't the case for Road Warriors and Sting, but Road Warrior matches are usually beat the fuck out of him, beat the fuck out of him, Doomsday Device. Wasn't much of either of that in here, although they kind of beat the shit out of like they kind of got on Dusty for a little bit there, but this was kind of let's see. It was so crazy to see that despite the fact we're so far into the show, we're at match 6 out of 7. This show's been going on for I'd say going on over 2 hours now maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And the crowd's still hot as fuck. They love Dusty, and Dusty Rhodes has this very unique form of charisma. Um where I feel like if Hogan did the stuff that Dusty Rhodes does to get a crowd reaction, he'd look so stupid, you know? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
the he Dusty is in the sleeper and
Hmm.
he's dancing while he's getting his ass kicked because the crowd is thriving off of it. Like the crowd is seeing him dance and is making them cheer for him and he's feeding off of that. It's so weird. Like
They love him, bro.
imagine Hogan, bro, instead of doing the you where he points and like starts to punch him and gets the boot. Imagine Hogan punch, 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 fucking rolls his wrists around, flip flop and fly, big fucking elbow. But then Dusty's him doing like Hogan poses would look dumb. But
Hmm.
I just thought it was so cool seeing him do this. Also, Sting does a top rope crossbody because everybody's got to go up top, man. Everybody's got to get up there.
Are you a big fan of Dusty Rhodes?
I am, despite the fact that all the information I've given you sounds like I'm trying to villainize him.
Yeah.
That's not really where I'm at. It's just I was given, not given. I found one 30-minute interview, and you can see that Dave Meltzer despite what he may or may not think now. And that particular interview was definitely leading towards the side of like him not so much being a Dusty fan when it comes to like the backstage shit, I suppose. Like he made it sound like Dusty was a jackass as the booker, and a lot of people hated him. I don't know. I don't know. I just am relaying what I heard.
You're just
But
a middleman, yeah.
I'm just the fucking middleman that's trying to make a podcast about wrestling with his friend, and I tried to do some digging to get some backstory for us to try to make sense of some of this shit. Apparently, the one of the first directives given by Turner, or at least the network, was no blood, nothing like that. And the first thing Dusty Rhodes does is have one of the Road Warriors try to like cut his head open with a spike or something.
Jesus.
So he's already in hot water with the network. Like the new owners, he's already like rubbed them the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
So spoiler alert: Dusty Rhodes is fired not too long after this, and so
Even
I'd
from
imagine
like wrestling there
from
as well.
from WCW, yeah, like he's already lost the booker position.
Right.
The booker position is now in the hands of somebody who, as I said, was a Turner Network executive that doesn't really know much about wrestling. Is just there to not let a wrestler be in charge of the wrestling show. So Dusty is had, not only has he had the booking position swept out from underneath him, he can't fucking stand Ric Flair, who is getting his way in a big way because he is a draw.
Way more
And the
popular
network,
than him. Yep.
yeah, I mean, Dusty Rhodes like people, Dusty Rhodes is
People know.
tenured and
Yeah.
is respected. People love Dusty
Mm-hmm.
Rhodes, and if there's anybody that probably could have gone, tit for tat in a political battle in NWA with Ric Flair, it would have been Dusty Rhodes. But unfortunately, he did not win this one, and he'll be out of this company pretty soon. But I think that's going to lead to some WWF stuff for us, even though it's the polka dots and shit like that, but I'm sure it's still entertaining. I've actually never seen it myself. This
So
match though, like it was what it was. Is like I definitely did not hate it. I'm not gonna say anything negative about it for sure. Like it was just one of them that I just kind of liked. It wasn't like Barry Windham or the Midnight Express or even the Varsity Club where there was something about it where I could be like, oh my god, this is so awesome. It was a good tag team match, and the finish was what it was. It was like a DQ
a
finish.
DQ, yeah.
Yeah, because even on his way out, bro, Dusty ain't taking no fucking pin.
Yeah, Ellering, he pulled the ref out of the ring, and they got disqualified. So yeah, I mean technically Dusty won, so that is a good thing.
Yeah,
Uh, but yeah, they
I
did
mean,
not.
the beginning of the match is like they got away with doing nothing
Hmm.
for like 5 minutes. Like you even hear the ring announcer get on like 5 minutes down, however many remaining, and they haven't done a fucking thing. But this crowd is eating all of it up.
Hmm. I think it was cool to see Sting. Does Sting stay in WCW for a while?
Oh yeah, I mean, in a few years he'll get hurt now and then,
Yeah.
especially like in a few years he has like a major injury or something. But Sting's a WCW guy to the end. Sting will be here for WCW until they close.
My mom loves Sting, still does.
A lot of people do, man. Sting is a
I mean,
household
he
name
just
to a
wrestled
lot of
his
people.
last match finally.
Yeah, big sads.
Jesus Christ.
Dusty Rhodes is probably the like one of the people that I never actually like got to meet that I really wish I'd have been able to. I loved Dusty Rhodes as a kid, even though I never really saw a lot of NWA stuff. I just loved his personality and appearance and shit like that. That I'd get to, like clips and stuff that I get to see of him. And yeah, that'd have been one that I really would have loved to have been able to meet him and Eddie Guerrero. But
I think it might be the shock and awe factor for me. I mean, I just enjoyed this match just solely that I knew who all four of these people were in the ring. So
yeah,
maybe that's
this was a good match.
yeah,
I'm not gonna say anything negative about it. Like I said, like, it just wasn't one that was like, oh my god.
yeah,
It was just another really good match.
yeah. It was yeah, yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, I mean, it is just another double team tag team. I would love to see. What if this was like a I guess you can't do that. I was gonna say like a fatal four way, but I don't know. Maybe what about
They
a
don't
fatal four way tag team match? When are we getting one of those?
they don't really do a lot of stuff like that yet. Like you don't really see a lot of triple threats or fatal four ways. I
It's
guess it's
crazy.
the only time you see more than one person involved in something like that is a Survivor Series or
Hmm.
something like that. Battle royals and random ass rumbles.
Uh, there was a couple times where Dusty tried to do the figure four, and then
Yeah, and it goes in a
also
weird way too.
Sting does the Stinger splash, and then the Scorpion. I thought that was fucking awesome. Was he
Yeah, I
still
don't. Go
doing
ahead.
the? Was he still jumping off top rope? I need to look up Sting 2023 highlights. I don't know what he was doing.
He was definitely not jumping off the top rope in 2023, but he was in '88.
Yeah, every other move.
Sting and Dusty are mad over. Like Sting and
Yeah, they
Dusty are
are.
big. People love these guys.
Yeah, and even when Sting, like WCW's no more, doesn't he just kind of go to TNA? Isn't he there forever too?
He'll float around for a little while, because I'm pretty sure for a while he thought he was done. He makes some appearances here and there, especially for this Australian show called like World Wrestling All Stars or something like that. But once he makes it to TNA in like 2005, 2006, he basically stays there up until he shows up in WWE. Because I don't think he intended to stay with TNA as long as he did, and then he ended up being like a staple of TNA, I'd say.
Yeah. That's what I would know. TNA as much. Speaking about TNA and their wrestlers, you see Bobby Lashley got released from WWE?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was out of nowhere too.
Hmm.
He got released, Omos got released, and some other people.
I saw Omos got released. That was not that shocking.
I don't know if they just didn't do him right or what happened there.
Yeah, I wasn't watching. Like I stopped watching like right before he came in, and the only time I think I would have seen him was his match with Lesnar, but I didn't see that particular like part of Mania that year.
I think the last match we saw Omos was he returned at Royal Rumble, and then we just like kind of never saw him again.
I remember my first reaction to Omos was when I saw the graphic on night one of WrestleMania for the following night. They'd have Brock Lesnar versus Omos at night two of Mania, and I asked the room, I go, "Who the fuck is Omos?" Having no idea that he was like tag champs with my favorite wrestler of all time at one point.
MVP, AJ Styles.
AJ Styles, yeah.
Yeah, he was like his bodyguard for the longest time.
Oh, okay. That
Yeah,
makes sense.
for about I want to say yeah like a year or a year and a half. That whole gimmick was you can't really fuck with AJ Styles because look who's with him.
I remember his match against Seth Rollins at Extreme Rules, I think.
Omos.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I was like, man, Rollins made Omos look pretty good, other than beating him. But and then this is the very next conversation about Omos I've had since that day. And I
Yeah.
cannot believe that it's coming during a review of StarrCade '88.
Yeah.
Wild,
Yeah, it's crazy how
fucking
things pan
wild.
out, doesn't it?
There's not a single person on this show that Omos would be a better wrestler than, and that
Yeah.
probably includes Oliver Humperdinck and
Give me Russian Assassin 2.
as Omos. Omos is
Yeah.
under the mask.
Yeah, I thought it was Omos. Did you not?
I didn't think he'd been around that long.
Yeah. Hell yeah, Omos like 63 right now.
All the way back to '88, man.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy. But yeah, Sting and Dusty win. And yeah, next we get Tony and Magnum. They're discussing what's to come. The main event. Well, technically that's the main event, right? Because the other one
Oh,
doesn't count
it's
as
the
it.
main event. The other one's a
Okay.
dark match.
Yep.
This was the main event. Ric Flair's the main event, brother. I promise you.
Yeah, we have brother. Oh my God, we have Ric Flair, who is the current champion, with J.J. Dillon versus Lex Luger. Now I have some fun facts, and I'm pretty sure I got it right because I was the way they were talking. I'm trying to make sure I remember. Um,
Okay.
Ric Flair was the Wrestling Rookie of the Year in '73,
Yep. Yes.
and then Lex Luger was the Wrestling Rookie of the Year in '86.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure I got that right. So, I thought that was very cool. Seeing, especially like, I think I mentioned at the top of this, like Ric Flair's 39 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and he is at the top of his game. Now I understand there's some wrestlers, especially like your friend who you've wrestled with a couple times, who will wrestle until they literally can't walk anymore.
You talking about Mike Jackson?
Mike Jackson, Action
Uh,
Jackson, right? Or something like
hey,
that.
Ric Flair. Ric Flair loves Mike Jackson.
Did they wrestle a lot together?
I mean, Mike Jackson was hanging around NWA this time. He was on a lot of like center stage shows and stuff like that. He was a guy they'd have come and like do enhancement matches for people.
Oh yeah, make
So
them look better and stuff.
Ric Flair's probably tapped Mike Jackson out to the figure four a few times.
That's awesome. Yeah, this is another one where it's like, holy shit. And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Holy shit, was this not a good ass fucking match? Like,
Yeah, and I couldn't believe it because, dude, my first note is um I'm still excited. Too bad we don't get to see a Flair promo, but I'm still excited to see him wrestle. Just too bad it's against Lex Luger. I
what?
was wrong because this was awesome.
What? Okay, I don't know if this is bad. What is the deal with Luger?
I just never really associated him with being like that good of a wrestler. I see the muscle meathead, and then his WWE stuff was what it was, and then by the time he got to the WCW that I had seen in like the late '90s, he had made his money. He was there like making millions of dollars just to do fuck all, so he probably wasn't doing too much other than coming in and torture racking a guy or two. He was just never that exciting to me. But this match was fucking good. This honestly is probably like in the top ranking matches that we've watched so far,
Dude,
I'd
I
say.
was gonna agree. I was saying it's not Macho
It's not
Man
Savage Steamboat,
and Steamboat. It's not that. I will never compare a match that we've seen so far to that. But
but
it,
it's
it
it's
it's in
better
that
than
top
Hogan
10.
Andre.
It's in that top 10.
Yeah, it's fucking good, dude. Like I really loved this match from beginning to end. And this match was 31 minutes long.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think I've ever seen an 80s Ric Flair match.
How'd you like it, man?
Holy shit, is he not good? Holy shit.
He is literally the best. He's like him and Savage are just probably the two best in the world. Um, if anything, I give Savage like more edge as a performer,
Hmm.
whereas Ric Flair is far and away the better wrestler.
And it's
But then
crazy. We are not talking about the top two most popular with Hogan and Andre. We're talking
no,
about like I wouldn't classify them as B, but like if they're A plus, these are
yeah,
just A players. And holy
yeah. I mean,
shit,
and
are
they're
they
both the
not better?
champions right now.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, bro, like you said, he's at the top of his game. Like Flair is in prime form right here. And there's somebody trying to politic the belt away from this dude and push him towards the competition. Like, what the fuck is going on?
A guy I
Um,
thought was a good guy.
Imagine, I'm sure he is, man. I'm
Yeah.
sure he is. Just like people, and maybe Ric Flair's a cocksucker. Maybe Ric
Yeah.
Flair fucking
Oh,
sucks.
definitely. He definitely does. And he definitely is.
maybe maybe Ric Flair's a shithead at points. Who knows? But
Yeah.
the thing is like wrestlers. Everyone always hears all the time like wrestlers are wrestlers, they're assholes. Everyone has to think about themselves and like take care of themselves first because no one else is going to.
Hmm.
So of course Ric Flair is gonna make some like decisions and actions that might be a little self-centered. He's the best wrestler in the fucking world. He has to treat himself like it. Like
Yeah.
he is the
If
biggest
you
star.
if you put this match on Survivor Series that we saw, Ric Flair wins MVP of the night.
I mean, like, oh yeah, absolutely. But like, this company just got bought by WCW or by Turner. Um, Imagine a world where like you don't have Ric Flair when the company goes bankrupt. Is this as
No,
enticing of a purchase
no,
without Ric Flair?
hell no. I'm not buying that shit if it was free.
Like Sting, Dusty, and like maybe Luger. You've got some people that are like draws, I feel, especially with Sting. Sting, they can tell that you can tell by looking at Sting in this match that they got plans for Sting. That he's in line to be like one of the next big guys. Also Luger. You can tell that they have their two like future guys picked out,
Yep.
and Ric Flair is helping them get ready. Dusty Rhodes probably as well with Sting, but you know, I forget where I was going with this. Fuck, I've completely lost my train of thought because I'm just like pointing out how great Ric Flair is right now.
No, you're good. Some of the things I did like in this match, like when Luger has Flair in the corner and he just beating the shit out of him with his 10 punches, and then
Yeah. Oh
he
my
like,
God, he does so many 10
I
punch counts.
know, I
The
know,
crowd counts every one of them. The crowd never stops counting, man.
which we don't have that in WWF. We do not
No,
have any crowd interaction as we do in WCW. That is my one
not
thing
like
about it as
this.
well.
Not as intimate.
Nope. Yep, I agree. Who
The WWF crowd just doesn't seem
like
they
they're
don't
there,
seem as happy to be there as the NWA crowd is. Like the WWE crowd seems like they're just there for Hogan and Savage and one or two others.
that's why we're there though.
Yeah, true, but like this crowd is here for WCW. They're here for NWA. They're here for the show.
Mm-hmm.
They loved everybody, whether it was like the Fantastics or, or Sting and Dusty, who they were like madly in love with, or Bam Bam, who hasn't been in the company that long, or Junkyard Dog, who hasn't been in the company that long. And they loved Rick Steiner, and they hate their heels. God damn, do they hate their heels.
Lex does a beautiful crossbody, and they only get. I thought Lex was gonna win the match early. I thought they were gonna let him beat Ric Flair. Did you get that at all during it?
No, but I also knew going in that Ric Flair won.
Oh, okay. Well, they had me beat, bro.
Yeah, I was just here for the experience. I
uh,
knew Ric Flair was going to win because I know who takes the belt away from this particular title reign. Um,
Also, like Ric Flair doing his signature bumps, which I've mentioned probably every fucking episode when I see someone do a Ric
yeah,
Flair S drop. It's
he does
just
the face flare where
the
he
face
falls
plant
flat on his
from the
face,
corner. Yep.
the top rope crotch where he gets thrown off,
Yep.
overhead. The sound, the sound of these flare chops, man. I don't know if it's the acoustics in the building or the amount of muscle on Lex Luger's chest or just how hard Ric Flair is hitting him or a combination of all three. But these things sounded like gunshots.
Yeah. I wonder if they had mics closer to the ring.
They might. I mean, there are sometimes where some places put a mic under the ring so you hear the more and it makes it sound like
Oh, like
it
the
makes it
bouncing and
sound
stuff?
more, yeah, like you hear the boards clacking against the steel and shit. It makes it sound like it's a bigger impact than it really is. Little industry secret, I guess. I don't know. But WCW, I'm pretty sure at some point will mic the fuck out of the ring. Like you'll be able to hear motherfuckers walking at some point.
uh, but yeah, so how this match ends is basically what happens is who was it? Lex is trying to do a is it a torture rack?
Yeah, the torture rack, but
And
Flair's been
his
working his
knee,
leg the whole show
was
or
it
the
his
whole
left
match.
knee?
I think so.
Yeah, left knee. I always go for the left. And basically his legs or his knee gives out. So Flair then drops on him and uses the rope and pins
Hmm.
him for the 1, 2, 3. And then Luger gets up and's like, "What the hell? You see this? He was using the ropes." He's like doing the ultimate warrior shake over there near the ropes like,
Yep.
"Bro, what the hell's going on here?"
And
And
Tito works for the other company, so he can't come and fix it.
yeah, so Lex was literally talking to a brick wall cuz no one's going to help him out here.
Yeah, dude. What was this guy's fucking name? I already forgot the name of the referee. Tommy Young
Tommy
didn't give a
Young, yeah.
shit. He's like, I'm not fucking having it, bro. That was 30 minutes. Get the hell away from me.
That was literally 30
So
minutes.
it was 30 minutes and 59 seconds.
Wow.
It did
Much
not feel like
deserved.
that to me, dude.
No,
They
it
said
didn't.
30
No.
minutes gone by, and I went, what the fuck? So one of the moments of this match that I think is so cool. Barry Windham had a similar moment to it, but it's the moment where the champion or Flair, he gets control back and he realizes like, all right, man, I've done fucking around. You're pissing me off, and now I'm about to show you why I'm the fucking man. And he just dissects Lex Luger's leg, and it comes into play very well. But every time he gets to the where he gets to the point where he's dialed in, he's focused, he's meticulous, he's calculated. He starts to kick his ass, and he gets like, yeah, that's right, bitch. Yeah, now I'm showing you why I'm fucking Ric Flair. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go do this thing I got no fucking business doing because I know I got your ass, and then he gets caught. It's perfect, and it's just he keeps that cycle going every time he's in control, and always it will always come down to the fact that something he did while he had control plays into the end, and he sneaks away with a fucking victory. Um, this match, dude, was so good.
Mhm.
I loved that the heat played directly into the finish. Like you get so long of him tearing apart Luger's knee or his leg or whatever, and it never takes too long. Like the WWF heat on Jake Roberts will. Like that dude will just lay there and let you kick his ass for a while. Like he kept something like really entertaining going here. I loved watching Ric Flair be Ric Flair.
Me too, especially not seeing too many Ric Flair's match before the year 2000. So,
Yeah. Yeah, getting to see 88 Ric Flair was kind of nuts.
fucking insane. I
And
wish
dude,
we can get
the
88
next
Ric Flair right now.
the next WCW show we watch is Flair versus Steamboat.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. Just to let you know
Wait,
that
what
we're
month is
gonna
that?
like the February. It'll be the one we watch after main event.
Damn.
Yeah. So if there's any one thing that should keep you wanting more WCW, it should be that.
Is it still Ricky the Dragon in WCW?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. He'll be Ricky the Dragon. Yeah.
Okay, good. I don't mind Ricky the Dragon and his karate outfits and everything.
I
Um,
don't remember if he's in the karate outfit in WCW. I just remember that he goes to WCW and they're like, "Hey man, I'm probably one of the best wrestlers in the world," and they go, "Cool, go do it with the best wrestler in the world."
hey man, it's me, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat here.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, it's me, Ric Flair. Do you want to make magic? And they do.
And so after this match, we get literally, I think this is one of Ric Flair's most famous promos, right?
Is it? I didn't really pay. I'll be honest with you, I was kind of getting like I was on such a come down from all that wrestling that I was putting notes about how much I enjoyed this show, and then looked up and was like, "Oh fuck, a Flair promo is happening."
Well, I don't know if it's as famous, but he's like really just into the mic. He's basically saying to Luger, he's like, he will never get another title shot. It'll cost Dylan a lot of money, but he'll make sure that Luger will never get another title shot again. He says Luger is done in the history before giving everyone that we've seen, and then he does one of his loud woos.
Okay,
What about you? Are you a
cool.
big woo guy?
I'm a big Ric Flair guy.
Woo!
Yeah, woos are great. The woos are awesome. I love that they've become synonymous with a chop. Like you can't chop somebody without the crowd. Even if the crowd doesn't know who Ric Flair is, somebody gets chopped, the whole crowd goes. Woo! I don't know if my mic picked up the woo, but
It did for a minute, and then you cut out. But
yeah, I don't know why my mic just does not like high frequency.
yeah. No, I mean we all understand what you're trying to do though.
Yeah. Um,
But yeah,
dude, that's StarrCade, man.
uh, what do you want me to go first? I think I should go first, and then
You
you
should
can.
probably go first because I'm going to praise the fuck out of this show. I don't really have anything bad to say about it. I had such a blast watching the show.
Yeah. Okay.
So you go ahead. You go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, my final thoughts on it. It's not a bad introduction to WCW. Especially going from WWF and everything. My
Yeah, I
only.
mean, this was their mania.
Mhm. Yeah. And my only problem is that I'm looking at this as in I miss what we've been watching. So, and I mean, and that's just kind of all human thought anyway. Like, when you're doing something, you're like, man, I wish I'd be doing this other thing, which I don't mind. Like, I enjoyed this to a point of like, I was laughing, I was having fun. I got to see one of the greatest wrestling matches we've watched on this podcast in that main event. Like, it was
Yeah,
fucking great. Also got to see so many people that I know, name wise, and just seeing them doing their thing and everything. We got to see some people jump ship. JYD, Bam Bam, who we loved in WWF, now come over here to WCW.
and
Um,
it's still massively over and loved, which
mhm.
is awesome to see.
Yeah, and we're not changing names, we're not doing different gimmicks. They were
Right.
still JYD with the chains and Bam Bam with his fire singlet he always wears, or not singlet but outfit. Uh, Ric Flair, holy shit! I got to see Ric fucking Flair wrestle. Like
Yeah, and
he's
did you
awesome.
ever? Yeah,
Um, but yeah,
80 Flair, 80s Flair is some next level shit, dude.
if I would put this toward like I'd put this toward maybe mid upper.
Okay.
If we were to rank all 11 episodes, I would maybe like this could be like a good 4 or 5. I still think there's some WWF shows that I just liked a lot better.
Well,
Um,
yeah, for sure.
yeah, and just if we got to fix the camera angles, and I understand like you've been telling me WWF is more about the wrestling and what they do
No,
in the ring
N
than what they do
NWA is
outside
more
the.
about the WCW is. They're more about the in ring
Yeah,
product.
yeah, then yeah, just then the stories right in the backstage.
Yeah, the stories are there. They're just
Totally.
not secondary to the wrestling, but the wrestling is a much more important part of it.
Yeah, I got you. But yeah, and in all honesty, if I were to rank this, and we could do this for WCW shows, we'll keep it separate.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
because
I
I
grade
don't
them on a different scale than WWE anyway.
exactly see. I was gonna say I would give this 3 out of 5 Russian ass Asians.
Okay.
Since King Kong Bundy's nowhere to be found since 1986, I gotta give it
Oh
three
yeah.
out of five ass Asians.
I love that the WCW measuring stick is ass Asians.
Yeah, but
And
what do
you
you
didn't
think
get to
on it?
see it, but Junkyard Dog won $50,000 in that battle royal as we were
Much
going off the air.
deserved. I hope he invests that money and he retires.
All right, man. So obviously I enjoyed the fuck out of this show. And I think it could just be because it's like like a very southern, like alternative to what we've been watching. Although there are a lot of similarities, like they still there's some similar spots. There's some overlap in the Venn diagram. Like you get a constant DQ and count out finishes. Not you had one of each in the show, and it was to protect specific people. Like you didn't want to pin Dusty and the Road Warriors, but the company's not putting the tag belts on Dusty and Sting right now because they're kind of trying to get rid of Dusty. Um, what was the other count out? Yeah, and then like I honestly don't know why Bam Bam couldn't just get pinned by Barry Windham, but I'm not a Turner executive that's been put in charge of a wrestling company, so it's not for me to decide. Flair is incredible, and there's not anyone on this show that came close to touching him.
Yeah,
He is a level of his own. Like he is as good of a worker as Hogan is as a personality. Like him and Hogan are just as good as the other. Their skill tree just went in opposite directions. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
Like if Ric Flair could probably he would be a top guy in WWE if he was there, but like he is the perfect fit for this company. He is what this company needs, and there's no way that you could look at Ric Flair and not think that's the guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Ric Flair is literally the best. Yeah, like you said, he's the best person here on this show, and it's not even close. Like everyone should have got a pen and paper out and should be studying
And
what
just
Ric Flair was doing.
oh brother, I had to for this podcast, and I can't wait to be a better wrestler just from watching this match. But that being said, though, the in ring work really on this show was great. I thought top to bottom. Where in WWE, it's like I was saying, it's go entertain the crowd, then do your story shit. Whereas in this show, it's they go have a good match and entertain the crowd and get your story over. Being able to have a good solid match should just be second nature to you at this point, at this level of NWA. Like everyone on this card was a good wrestler.
Mhm.
And even if they weren't, they were with somebody that made them all look like really good wrestlers. There's like I said, there's a lot of overlap in the quality and type of finishes, but it didn't really bother me as much because the wrestling up to it was so good. It wasn't trash wrestling, not trash, but like sloppy, boring wrestling, and then into the fucky finish. It was, oh my god, this match is really awesome. Hey, fuck finish happened, I did like Jim Ross and Bob Caudle, but they are not Gorilla and Jesse. They
Not
are
even
not
close.
Gorilla and
I need
Jesse, and it's not even a negative on them. It's just I just like the banter between Jesse and Gorilla
Mhm.
a lot better. And Jim Ross and Bob Caudle, they're play by play guys. They're not so much there to entertain as they are to explain and inform you on what's happening. The thought here is you could close your eyes and still know what's happening based on their commentary. You just also know their entire college and sports history.
Yeah,
Um,
I need some more moxie out of them. I need more of them arguing. I don't need to know
yeah,
that
dude, that was
Rick
another thing.
Steiner.
Like
Yeah.
that's what makes Jesse and Gorilla so good is imagine the entire time Bob Caudle is hyping up Ric Flair and is like, "Oh, he's got him. You're never gonna beat Ric Flair. He's the best in the world." And then uh, Rick Steiner and Mike Rotunda, bro, Jesse would have made that shit amazing. He rang the bell. It's because it's a time limit draw. You know,
Yeah.
he'd have been great to cover up the Russian assassins. Like I don't see anything. I couldn't tell that if he had something in his mask when he headbutted him.
Mhm.
Imagine Jesse reacting to Dangerously and Cornette. Would
That
have
would
been
have been
great.
amazing. Yeah.
But I honestly one of the MVPs for this show, other than like performer match, all that shit, is the fucking crowd. The crowd to me added so much to this show because even if it was good wrestling, if it was just good wrestling and not really anyone there to care about it, it wouldn't have felt as cool. But the fact that they were putting on matches like this and getting this genuine reaction from the crowd for 3 hours, I think that says a lot for the crowd itself, the work on the show, the workers on the show, like, and overall the presentation of the show itself. I really think StarrCade was a good show, man. Um, Match of the night for me is obviously Flair and Luger. As great as other things were, like that tag match, the second tag match, the Midnights, and the Barry Windham and Bam Bam thing, nothing came close to Ric Flair and Lex Luger. This was just, here's a bunch of really good wrestling. Now here's some fucking great wrestling. Here's Ric Flair. So that also gets him Performer of the Night because there's no way it can't be. Moment for me was Steiner winning the belt. I think that was like the coolest feel good moment on the show. It's kind of the only real like feel good moment.
Especially after being kicked out because they thought he was too dumb.
He thought he was too dumb and he stuttered talking to his imaginary friend and leaving his dog at home, but he wins the belt. And then for overall segment for me, meaning like beginning of the match starting to when they are done talking about it, was Midnight versus Midnight. I thought the match was really good. I thought the post match stuff was really good. Sure, there were matches that were better, and sure there were moments that probably got a bigger reaction. But this segment as a whole stood out to me more than any one segment, beginning to end, because there was so much going into it, and there's so much coming out of it, and there was a really good story being told there. And my favorite promo of the night is how weird Rick Steiner is when he wins titles and gets interviewed about it. It was so awkward and cringy and funny as fuck to me. And the Flair one, I didn't want to give the Flair promo of the night because I just know there's going to be way better Flair promos. So I need
Mhm.
I don't want to just be like, here you go, Flair. I don't want to suck this dude off any more than I already have. But as far as WCW ratings go, I'm gonna give StarrCade '88 a 4 Russian ass Asians out of 5, just because I think this was such a strong start for me to introduce WCW with. Even if you didn't enjoy the show as much as me, you definitely know what Ric Flair brings to the table now.
Yeah, like I
and
have someone who when we're watching WWF, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get my Hogan, I'm gonna get my Macho Man. Now it's like,
yeah,
okay, I'm gonna get my Rick. I might get a Steiner good moment. I'm gonna get, hopefully like a Luger is gonna, he's gonna step his shit up and everything.
and you'll get some Sting moments over the years as well,
Sting,
and
yeah. So
yeah, but
I'm very excited.
yeah, I'm really glad we took this. Excuse me, we took this like side path here to
Hmm.
check out WCW. Because like I said, I really just enjoy the show beginning to end. I had no idea that late '80s WCW was actually pretty fucking cool. Had no idea. So, um, yeah. So the drama here, Dusty wanted Rick Steiner to win the belt. You know, the guy with the
Imaginary
with the
friend in the
with the
dog.
stutter and the imaginary friend and the dog he left at home and the face drawn on his hand, which I suppose is to represent the imaginary friend. He is booked to beat in 5 minutes on the main event of StarrCade in a steel cage match, Ric Flair. And apparently is even we've even been told not only is he booked to beat Ric Flair in 5 minutes, he's prepared to, even if Ric Flair doesn't want to do business, which I don't think Ric Flair would have ever not done business. But apparently, at some point, the pitch is, or the argument is made that if you take the belt off Flair and push him out of this promotion, or if you take the belt off Flair, it's probably going to piss him off and you're going to lose him. And then you're probably not going to do very well with your TV deal and getting any more money from Turner, more backing from Turner, any of that shit. Like you lose your marquee dude. So the book is taken from Dusty, given to somebody else, and they make this match here. And I think we're better off for that. Imagine this match not existing and it being replaced with a 5 minute cage match of Rick Steiner squashing Ric Flair.
I'm trying to think of a world where my first impression of Ric Flair in the 80s is him
It's him getting
losing
jobbed by.
to a random guy I've never heard of.
Yeah.
Is it
You
Rick?
never heard of Rick Steiner?
Is that what's his name's dad? Braun
It's Scott
Breaker?
Snyder's brother. It is Braun Breaker's dad, yes. But
Rick
it's
is? Okay,
yeah, he's mostly known for being in the Steiner brothers with Scott.
gotcha. Yeah, that's what I knew he was the dad of someone who Braun Breaker should have won the IC championship at Money in the Bank, but that's neither here nor there. So
Maybe he gets it at SummerSlam.
maybe. But that was it for your facts, right?
Yeah, that I can think of off the top of my head. It's they're in a very weird period with WCW because we're changing the parent company. People are coming in and out. The booking position is going to be cycled through a lot of people, so there's going to be a lot of changes in WCW, and that could probably play into how Ric Flair has so many goddamn title reigns. It's because bookers keep coming in and taking it from him, and the next booker comes and gives it back to him, or whatever. Eventually, WCW is going to have a booker that thinks that like the kid audience is who they want, so you're going to get dumbass tag teams like the fucking
Oh
Ding
God.
Dongs.
Oh God.
But we won't be seeing any of that shit. I'm going to make sure that you get the 5 best or most important WCW shows in each year. And 89 is going to start with Flair and Steamboat, brother.
That's gonna be so fun to watch. All right, I can already tell you. What's
Yeah,
that
Flair
pay
and
per view
Steamboat,
called?
Chi-Town Rumble.
Chi-Town Rumble.
Yeah, but that'll be after we watch the Royal Rumble in the main event.
Yes, sir. The second
But
one.
I'm really glad you agreed to take this break in our
Yeah.
usual path because man, I really enjoyed this show so much. I can't say that enough and can't say enough good things about it. And I'm glad that you enjoyed Flair, and I'm glad you got to see Junkyard Dog.
I love Ric Flair, dude. He
And
might
I
not be a
hope
good person, but I love Ric Flair.
who knows if he is or not. Who
Yeah.
knows? Odds are a lot of wrestlers are just not great
You know
people.
what? Rick, come on this show. We'll get to the
Dude, I
bottom of
will
it.
dude, I will talk about how great you are all day.
Ric Flair, you need two
If
guys that will help you out. Come here.
Bro, if in 2024 I can talk about how great Hogan is in WWF, I can talk about how good Ric Flair was.
In WCW.
Period. Yeah,
Yeah.
in WCW and NWA and WWE, wherever the fuck he goes,
In real
I will
life.
talk about. Yeah, Ric Flair. Turns out, if you watch some prime era WCW, dude is the best.
Dude's fucking lethal. But yeah, that's it for our WCW StarrCade True Grit 1988. Next, what we have is, like Cameron mentioned, the Royal Rumble, which happens in January of '89. Cameron, the runtime for this 2 hours and 34 minutes. So not as it's like 20 something minutes less than this show.
Oh man, and I bet it's gonna feel a little longer.
Yeah, especially with the Rumble and the seconds in between the next person.
Well, there seems to be only 4 matches on this card.
I
The
hope this one.
fucking Royal Rumble lasts over an hour.
I hope this one is this one 30? Because I know the last one was 20.
Yes, it's 30 now. Yeah,
This the first 30? Okay, cool. Cool. Sweet. And I hope it's no offense to the first Rumble, but I hope it's like, we get our ballers in there this time. you
yeah, for
know,
real.
give me Hogan at 1 and Andre at 30 and then the crazy pop or something.
Man, the main story going into this Royal Rumble is Big John Studd returned in '88 and turned
No
babyface
way.
after not siding with Bobby Heenan
No
and
way.
began a feud with his client Andre the Giant. And they both signed to participate in the Rumble match.
Dude, WrestleMania 1 flashbacks, but it's in reverse.
Yeah, that is crazy that the roles are reversed.
Dude, how many times have I mentioned where the hell is Big John Studd? At least every past 6 episodes, right?
And
Yeah,
then also we have the continuing feud between Jim Duggan and Dino Bravo, and Dino Bravo has actually now picked up help from the Fabulous Rougeaus.
you know what I hope to see? I hope to see Hogan and maybe some Macho Man not see eye to eye here.
Hey, they might.
We'll
I
see
actually
though.
don't see what Hogan and Savage are doing in this show. They might not even be on it.
They're probably, dude, they got to be in the Rumble.
Yeah,
you know,
they might be in the Rumble.
ain't no way
Randy
we
Savage,
won't
yeah,
see
Randy, yeah,
them.
they are. They're in the Rumble. They're in the Rumble.
Good.
The champions in the Rumble. That's fucking crazy.
But
Oh
yeah,
well.
that's it for StarrCade '88. We'll see you at the Rumble.